individual player was decent, but he wasn't really able to bring anything extra. And the problem is that there wasn't enough synergy around that mid lane. Hopefully, Hero Complex can help them out with that.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing was that the comp they drafted was it was always going to be hard for them to execute because Wayne was having PC issues, fell behind, couldn't get back into the game. You have Nasus who wants to split, and generally, if can't remember his name, I know it begins with a Y. The other mid, if he got on something strong that was split pushing as well, the 1-3-1 would have been really, really strong. But yeah, with him fall behind, it was always going to be hard. But maybe something more standard this week. Maybe it's just something safe in mid, maybe Lysandra, something like that. Can make all the difference with just pressing R. But we'll see what they do in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams still have decent question marks around them because Raccoons, like we said, weren't really expecting them to get off to such a rough start. And Genesis Green, whilst they did get a win for themselves, it was against SRG Kaylee, who are also L2. And the problem is they want to get a good win like this to just prove themselves as a very, very decent team. Problem is right now, because they only have one win, and I know it's hard to judge off week one, you want to get more wins behind yourself. Because being 1-1, you're happy with that, but you need to get more wins behind yourself if you want to start pushing up forward. Fat Raccoons, it isn't just a case of wanting to push forward now. They kind of need wins. And because otherwise, if you're sat there like 0-3, 0-4 at the end of week 2, you've got to think about team mentality. That's not going to be weighing down too well on them.
Yeah, true. I mean, I know for when we played Genesis Green last week, they just had a really rough game. I don't think they're a bad team by any means, but against us, they struggled to get anything going. They had a strong team, but maybe against the Fat Raccoon side that are weaker, possibly they can look to exploit that. As you say, they need to get a win on the board. They need to start proving themselves, a playoff team. But so do Fat Raccoons. So there's a lot on the line, even this early on, only being week 2. So it should be an exciting game.
Yeah, it should be indeed. I'll let them know that we are ready. But in terms of big matchups, I mean, there are a lot of names people know of Fat Raccoons, so we can look through them. Pykex, Kled Player is the name of the game over there. He loves that champion. We'll probably get banned, though. Wayne M in the jungle. If my memory serves me correctly, I think he played Camille when I saw him. I'm not too sure.
What Pykex? Sorry, did you say?
I don't know. Wayne M.
Yes. He played. He did. He played the Camille. I think he was 2-11, sadly, that game.
Ooh.
So yeah, it was a little bit rough. I think if anything, they played better against Aquamarine Gaming. Which is no wait, that's the game they played better in the what was the second game they played? That's me. Lyra, that was it. They had a better showing in that game, even though they lost. So we'll see if they carry that from game 2 to effectively game 3. So,
the thing is, the Genesis Green, it's hard to comment on a lot of these players because unfortunately, they've not been on stream yet. So I'm waiting to see what they can really start bringing out. Was there anything you saw in your game that you want to see from Genesis Green?
I feel like Zinzao is a big pick for them. I think Kenobi he's still quite a strong jungler, even though they poor performances aside. I feel like he's a strong jungler. I feel like if they're going to get anything done, it will be topside. So maybe trying to take away things from Pyke and Wayne as they're doing so far. The Aurelia's gone, the Camille's gone. Not sure if they'll ban Colette away as well. Lee Sin going to be so definitely targeting Wayne. Don't know if they'll ban the Zinzao along with the Ornn and the Braum. Strong bans. I mean, I feel like if you're banning one, you should leave the other. Because Braum can counter Ornn, with the shield, but scary in lane. So first pick the Galio. That's a big pick to give over.
I'm sure as the Galio player you're very happy with that. You love that Galio.
Like I played him before this whole broken Q mess, that he is now. But yeah, he's just too good not to pick. That's the thing. He's too good not to. and I don't really think Hero Complex will have a response to that. He's baiting with the Nasus. I mean, maybe could have seen a jungle this time, but yeah, they're going with the Lulu.
See, the thing is with the Lulu, it isn't necessarily going to be support. Hero could take that mid. But what Lulu is able to do, if we kind of hone in right now, they know the Galio is going to be picked, so we know they're going to go for engage. If you can get a very good polymorph off on the person who's trying to engage on you, it can be huge. And especially when you have another pick like a Lissandra, who's very... Oh, never mind, they flip it at the last second. Thanks.
I was just going to say that I was expecting Lissandra, that's what I was saying before, but like they've just gone all out. They've got their whole top side. They do not care about bot lane, what they ban, what they take. They're just like, right, Kha'Zix, Aatrox, early game. We're going to just invade, win this pre 10 minutes, just get a big lead. It's just really strong, really, really strong so far. So we'll see. We'll see if they can execute them. We'll see if Kha'Zix can obviously invade the job early on. He's strong. See if Aatrox will have the lane pressure. Same with Galio. But then they have things to deal with it. You know, they have the Lissandra, they have the Lulu. So, you know, time will tell during the game if they're able to.
Yeah, I mean,
themselves.
One thing that I would say Wayne needs to be careful of, he's playing Jarvan the 4th, and his ultimate is Cataclysm. Locks people down in the circle. If you get yourself, and let's say you've got a teammate standing next to you, let's say you accidentally get 2 people trapped in this nice little area with one enemy. What happens when the Galio presses ult in that area?
Yeah. It's going to have to be, strangely enough, onto the... You can't, that's the thing, you can't even ult the Galio because he just taunts. It's a very tricky situation. The Draven going to be banned away. Okay.
The thing is, Fat Raccoons did pick the Draven into the Galio, so I assume they have some sort of plan for this.
Well, yeah, you're thinking they're also taking it away. Obviously, the Draven Galio combo would be really strong, but you know, they've shown the Lissandra. Lissandra should be able to soak up where they have the lane. They're going to go for the Twitch. Are they going to go Twitch? I presume they're going to go Twitch. So Twitch Lulu. It's a strong. It's a scaling bot. The only thing that worries me now is that the strength of the top side for Genesis. I don't know. And they got Tristana now against someone else that can jump in. It's oh boy. I did not. They are all in. They want this first win on the board. They're like, right, okay, we are all in, boys. Let's go.
But you say they already have one win on the board. They're looking for a second. They're looking to push themselves forward.
True. I mean, wasn't that a forfeit win they had?
Let me check. Oh yeah, it was a forfeit win.
So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, they'll feel like they want an actual win, you know, because. Okay, so I mean, they do have a strong fighting team. They do, and if they do scale, I mean, Galio will one shot probably any time in the game.
The thing is that they have a lot of kind of characters. I'm looking at Kled can do a lot of stuff in that top lane. Twitch, if Chirasi has a good pop-off game, he can just annihilate the enemy team by himself. So I think what we have here is Fat Raccoons. Some certain individual players can step up and really carry. The thing is that you look on the side of Genesis Green, and they have 5 jumping, aggressive characters. Even Tristana, you can class as that. And so it becomes hard for someone like Shirasi to really get online when there are going to be all these champions that are just going to jump on him. It's going to be down to Hero Complex and Olympia on the Lissandra and the Lulu to make sure that picks like the Galio, the Aatrox, the Kha'Zix, the Nautilus, they can't get on Shirasi, and Shirasi can just keep spraying and praying over the enemy team.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about, this comp. You know, they are like, okay, we'll just protect our AD carry. Hopefully they can't get to us, and the other 3 will be a distraction. Well, Lulu just tries to peel, but it's going to be very hard when you got Aatrox who will just ult in. Kha'Zix might have a flank. Then you've got Galio coming in. You've got Nautilus. It's very, very hard to peel off. It's not like they can one-shot 3 of them. Kha'Zix and Trista, the only 2 they could probably just pop. So we'll see. I think even if it goes to the later points of the game, Genesis still have good points to win. Still have catch potential. It's not just a case of they hit 40 minutes, they win it right, but That's what they'll be going for, I imagine, Fat Raccoons. I can't see them obviously winning early, so I presume that's if they know that win condition in Genesis, then they should have a comfortable win.
But we talk about the fact that they're playing for late game. Then I look at the top lane and I look at the summoner spell that Pike Hexus took. He hasn't took the TP, he took the Ignite, and most as was going a bit more standard, thanks to TP nerfs followed by Ignite buffs. The thing is that if you're wanting to play some sort of late game split push kind of style, you don't want to be having Ignite, you're going to want TP. So Pike Hex, he's clearly going to be looking for blood in the lane versus Extinct. The problem is General Kenobi just going to be able to spot the fact that that summoner spell exists, know that Pike Hex wants to go aggressive, and just punish that?
Yeah, it's a strong possibility. It's like the thing with Cloud, obviously, he does have the ulti that will get him around the map a bit quicker if he wants to make a play bot, but then if it doesn't pull off, he can't just TP back to top lane and he's fine. He should get punished for it with, tower plate and lack of CS XP, but yeah, they will be able to make map plays happen if they do choose to go for anything early. Lissandra can roam. And then obviously if you have Jarvan there for a dive, it's quite strong. So they do have options. I just don't imagine they'll think to take them, just because they'll be so set on the fact that they have this sub mid coming in. And I don't know what comms are like, but I know Olympia's very strong mentally, so we'll see if that helps them. And yeah, it should be a good game.
Yeah, and the thing is that both teams, whilst I feel like in an optimal scenario, that I would personally say Genesis Green comp is, I would say, better. Thing is that misplays are going to happen, and if you talk about a team that's going to be able to punish a misplay, I mean, Lissandra can lock down someone instantly. Jarvan can do that too. So if someone like General Kenobi steps a little bit too far out of his comfort zone, and he's spotted by someone like Hero Complex, he's just going to get CC down and die. And that kind of lead in the early game, that kind of swing, that first blood, can snowball into an advantage for the side of the Fat Raccoons, and they can use that very well. So whilst I still feel like the composition of Genesis Green is better, it's down to how these players play. It isn't a case of this game's over by draft.
Yeah, of course. It's just when you're weighing up your options and the probability of who's going to win, you would favour Genesis Green just purely off their comp. They have arguably 3 winning lanes. I mean, if Nautilus can, play aggressive early on, they've argued 3 winning lanes. Invading jungle matchup, it's going to be very, very difficult. But if they do manage to keep it calm in the early game, then yeah, definitely, mistakes will happen. Then maybe Fat Raccoons can punish them for that, but they have to be careful. No cleanse on Twitch. It is barrier, so things like that maybe make the difference. How early QSS comes in, how early he respects it. So we'll see.
Yeah, a slight question mark ping on the Dark Star Jarvan. I don't remember why that skin was made, and there are just better champions to give a Dark Star skin for.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you'd prefer to see maybe maybe a bit cliche, Dark Star rolling, so that could have been one of them.
Oh yes.
It's just something. It just makes sense, right? It's kind of like Void Fizz. Why would you give Fizz that skin? But anyway, yeah, we'll see. He's not on Lee Sin. He's not on Camille. He's on something that can be just as proactive, but just as devastating from ahead.
The thing is about Jarvan, he isn't at least as mechanically complex as a Lee Sin. It's fairly simple to execute on EQ or things like that.
Yeah,
it isn't
true.
a case of you having to right QW, ward hop flash insect
Yeah, true. I mean, he is very good in Lee Sin. I know that. So a champion like this should be no problem. But it's going to be, again, it's going to be a chess game between the junglers. What they want to do early, where they want to go, how the Kha'Zix wants to invade. It's all these question marks about this game. If they're going to permagang bot with this Nautilus, it's very squishy bot lane. So yeah, I feel like they've drafted, they've tried to get, they've tried to take it all, get everyone ahead, and we'll see where Kenobi puts his focus.
Yeah, I mean, every lane has decent gang setup, to be perfectly honest. Aatrox is an aggressive laner. You have Galio, who has CC upon CC. plus damage now. And then just on a note of this, I mean, they can jump in on a moment's notice.
Yep. You know, and also the safety of that as well. If you know Kenobi is invading and happens to get collapsed on, you do have the Galio ult from anywhere really around, you know, the mid range of like raptors and wolves, things like that. So
Eternity might be spotting out Tracy here though. They're walking in as a 4-man.
But
he
he didn't. I thought he was gonna just try maybe if it didn't start Q, but I don't know if he's taking anything. I'm gonna have a little check. Oh wait, what?
Teleports behind you, Jesus.
Hang on a minute. I don't know, Jarvan, he did that. Yeah, so he has. So Nautilus has skilled Q. Oh well, he just threw his Q. I was gonna say he has skilled Q, but yeah.
Olympia throwing at the BM where no one can see it.
Yeah, but that was a weird little interaction there with Aatrox, but yeah, no. Did he get a award? I don't know if they got a award. Did they? No. I think they placed one. They placed one now. Okay, so Wayne didn't place one. What's your favorite skin in this game?
Favorite skin? One Nautilus I actually quite like. I'll be honest. I think that's a pretty good skin.
Yeah, I do like that skin. I was gonna say a mid no skins either. Aatrox no skin. I mean, it's either Count Kled or the Kha'Zix for me, but yeah. So I do like that Nautilus skin. If it was Astro Nautilus, then 100%. You got me. But, yeah, well, we'll see. Where do you think the main early game points is going to lie? Do you think? What do you think is going to break open first for you? Considering.
I would say look at this top side because there's a gank happening right now. Here comes Wayne. Then forces the flash, gets the flag and drag though. Flash goes down. The ignite goes down. Flash plus the fly kicks.
There we go. But just as a bit of safety, where do you think first point of protocol is going to be? And yeah, top lane punish. That was really well done.
100% definitely was going to say top side, by the way. Wink, wink, no judge.
Now, what will Kenobi do in reply? That's the question. He's most likely going to get the blue, but then, you know, if you are vertical jungling, you're not really losing much as Jarvan, plus you've got the assist gold. It's really, really good for Wayne to get that gank off, plus vertical jungle against a strong jungler. So I think I'd be happy with this, especially Pykex getting that kill. Already going to be, what, you know, 540 gold ahead already. It's pretty good start.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see when he's taking Ignite lane. If you kind of let it stagnate and you don't get a lead, that Ignite has been completely useless to you. Whereas getting those leads, that's exactly what Ignite is for, making sure you can stall that lane. And funny thing is, Jarvan's actually clearing all of General Kenobi's blue side jungle. And what he can very much do, if they want to be that aggressive, is if Pykex can get enough damage down the harass, they can go and try and dive. I don't think they're going to because Pykex was just dismounted, but it was something they could very well look for. And he's just going to clear out all the jungle and I assume back? Question mark? They could go mid actually because Galio is a decent amount pushed up.
I mean, he's not going to go TML on Aatrox. I mean, the Retrieve bead surely just. I would have just rather seen a controller, to be honest, rather than, you know, more of I need to buy something. Really good route. As you see that matchup is the battle of the aftershocks. I mean, both of them proc, they'll do no damage. So it's a good nullifying lane for a hero complex coming in. As long as he doesn't get bullied too hard, then yeah, you know, that should be fine. But it's going to go in again.
Ooh. They're both low on mana though, keep in mind. But General Kenobi's ready for the gank, he's coming in. Tries to jump over. Hero Combat's going to try and E out the way. He does get out. Wayne Endo, he's walked in on his own. He's going to have to flag and drag too. Two very low health members, but unfortunately no kills go down.
Yeah, does have TP to get back to lane, so it's not so bad, but could have been a little bit more risky if Wayne wasn't there. I thought he would have just passed towards his tower, but he used the claw, just gets out. Yeah, we see the team out for Pyke, so he's going to be perma shoving this lane. Looks to be, so. Oh, don't know what that creep done. Don't know what that creep done, but Eternity wasn't happy with that anyway. But yeah, you know, 3 CS down, wave crashing, started call, restart, you could say.
Oh, but aggressive play topside. The pressing stack has been procced, and oh my god, Extinct just gets wiped out. Pykex on the Kled. Oh.
That's why every team generally bans Kled. You just don't want to give him it. Yeah, he might not be great in a lot of situations, but when you're that good on him, you know, you show the respect, you ban it. And Yeah, that's a soul kill, and that's going to be really, really bad. Obviously, you know, TP down, Aatrox falling behind is not going to be very useful. Another threat down to the Twitch, so yeah, they need to do something topside. Stop the snowball.
Yeah, the problem is that if you leave top, if you let's say you go topside, you're leaving bot side open, and whilst Twitch Lulu isn't the best lane to try and gank as a friendly jungler, you have the Sandra, and the Sandra has incredible engage. They're going to be hitting level 6 within like the next level of experience. In fact, Jarvan's hanging around right now, ready to gank.
Yeah, yeah, Hero's not level 6 just as yet. It was a bit of a shame. But yeah, you're right. You know, if you do put the focus top lane now, if Kenobi decides to get him back
actually,
into the
Wayne,
game,
he might be overstaying his welcome. He just pops down a control ward. That's instantly going to get. Oh no, he doesn't get took. I thought he was going to take it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but no, you were right. Now that you know the top lane pressure's there, that opens up a lot more time for Churasi to just farm up on this Twitch. So we'll see what his decision is. He hasn't done anything as of yet.
Pykex goes back in. He's got to level 6 now. Keep your eyes on that. Eden gets wiped out again. Oh no. Pykex is playing very well right now. Xing just overstepping his boundaries.
Did he even ulti? I don't think he did. I'm pretty sure he still has it.
Yeah, he still has the ult. He had the ult ready, but he didn't need to use it.
That is absolutely nuts. You know, now 3-0. I mean, the gold lead for him, 1300 gold lead for Pykex. It's, you know, full Tiamat up right now. It's so scary. And what do you do if you are green? You know, you need to.
Well, I know. I have the plan going right now. So you have Kha'Zix, he's bot side, he's doing his red buff. Lyra in the mid lane, he is hit level 6 and he is Galio, so he has very good cross-snap pressure. What you want is, as you can see right now, Kha'Zix kind of hanging around that side of the map. If he could go down, make an engage happen in the bot lane, have Galio ult down with the Nautilus, and then all of a sudden, you're looking at a really good play. The problem is, Churasi and Olympia, they've recognized this, and they're just going to let them push into them, and you can't exactly force a play whilst they're in the tower, unless you're really, really good at the game.
Well, I mean, it's just the fact that, you know, he's level 7 now and he hasn't used this ulti yet. And I feel like the power of the champion, you should just be looking at least. But yeah, when you have top lane as volatile as this and just getting absolutely smashed. But this could be the opportunity here.
Here comes Galio.
Good flash.
Yeah, but this might not be it yet. They know Wayne Ember's doing his blue buff. They might try and punish it. Looks like they are. They're going very aggressive in that jungle.
I mean, you got to... Twitch is going to get caught. They walked up with no flash. Yeah, that's a rough one. I mean, they wanted to roam up as a duo and try and collapse onto Kenobi, but you didn't have the pressure. So obviously miscommunicated there. Olympia burned his flash, and you know he goes down for it. But fortunately enough, Eternity gets the kill, so at least that's something saved.
And on the bright side, it wasn't Churasi being took down, so he can sit here and fairly healthily farm up under the tower still. He's only got 31 minions left until he's finished his call, and he's gonna get an extra little boost after that. So he's doing well. It's not like that's the end of the world for the bot lane. It's just that's the kind of play I was expecting. Oh, that hook I swear I was gonna hit.
Yeah, just no real. Oh, okay. Oh dear.
Oh, here's an ult. Here he comes. But the Galio was gonna go down to Pykex. He's getting kills on the backside of the fight. There was a double kill for him, I believe. Eternity's getting took down too. Pykex, he's just so powerful, it's so hard to stop him. It's a triple kill. Can it be the Quadra? Oh, the World Ender gets popped. He flashes over. Here comes Pykex though. He's going to be chasing that kill. He wants the Quadra. That doesn't come up as the Quadra though, unfortunately. But he is godlike. 7-0-1 on this Kled at 9 minutes into the game. Just to give you a perspective of how well he's doing compared to his team. Fat Raccoons, they are 2k gold up right now. How much gold is he up on his opponent? He is a solid 3k.
Yeah, nearly 3,000 gold up already. Yeah, that's something. It's what, 1,500 gold up? Yeah, he's 1,500 gold up on his closest team member. So, yeah, if anyone's going to carry this game and prove he's one of the top laners in the league, then it's definitely this game to show it. As I believe we're getting called out on our internet, apparently. But unfortunate. So that's Scottish internet. Jungler has good Scottish. Oh, it's here. Oh, it's Wayne. Okay, of course it's Wayne. It's always Wayne. Yeah, 2 Scots on that team. But yeah, I honestly thought at the start of that fight there, I thought this is going to be bad for Raccoons. Wayne dies instantly to get the Drake, but nah, Pykex, we've seen how strong he is. He just practically 1v3s in the back. Yeah, it's looking really, really bad right now. We'll see if Genesis can stop the bleeding in the upcoming fights.
And usually one of the big things about top laners that makes it very hard to pick carries is that if you do and you don't do very well, you're kind of stuck to side lane duty and you can't really affect those fights. The thing is with Gled, even though he doesn't have the teleport, he has his ultimate, and that gives him so much more global pressure than, say, an Aatrox. It means the Aatrox has to take the TP, because Pykex can sit there on the side lane, farm up, as soon as he sees a fight start, instantly ult sound there and gets a triple kill.
Exactly.
Man.
Well, this is risky. Just getting melted already.
Yeah, that's the kind of harass you're expecting to see out of a Twitch Lulu lane. It is.
Ulti down though, but here comes Kha'Zix. He flashes.
Okay, never mind the hook lands. And that is going to be the kill, probably going over. Olympia uses the ultimate, but not enough. General Kenobi's going to get the kill.
Yeah, and yeah, it's a small little bonus for them, the fact that Olympia still doesn't have his flash back up. And yeah, they burn 2 flashes for it. They are, getting a little bit desperate, trying to get back into the game, and yeah, well, they're only 1,500 gold down overall. But somehow, I don't know how they're going to stop Pykex. That's the one worry for me. If I was a Genesis Green fan, how are they going to come back into the game and stop Pykex from just completely taking over?
Well, I mean, I think you just want to draw away pressure from the top side. The problem is right now you've got 3 members of Fat Raccoons hanging around the top side. They are ready to dive.
Yeah.
In fact, yeah, Wayne's staying around. He's ready for this. The thing is, General Kenobi's recognized the fact that they're probably going to be focusing topside, and he's there ready to respond if anything happens. They're just going to start the Rift Herald. And you don't want to take the 2v2 as Nitrox Kha'Zix against what is an incredibly fed Kled and a not so fed but equally scary Wayne with the CC that he has. So they're just going to take down this Rift Herald for practically free. There's nothing really happening on the other side of the map in response to it, so they'll happily take that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're just gonna literally just hard snowball this top side. And to be fair, Hero Complex has done very well.
Oh, yes.
I know he's a sub coming in. I don't even know if he plays mid as his actual role.
I believe he mains jungle but plays mid too, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, and I mean I know it is Lysandra, but he has played very, very well. Has gave Galio nothing. Another bot fight though.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
A bot fight is more Twitch and Lulu throwing stuff which is standing at Nautilus and then walking away from it.
I figured there was going to be more there, sadly not, but yeah. Yeah, I mean it was all or nothing from Genesis. It was always going to be that case where first 20 minutes they're either so far ahead or they're just, they're not able to snowball the lead that they need to win the game. And yeah, so far it's from a source that we didn't think might happen. This Kled is monstrous. What do you think? What do you think Genesis needed to go to get back into the game?
Well,
what do you think?
The scary thing right now, in my opinion, isn't even the Kled per se. It's the fact that this Twitch is getting free scaling down in this bot side.
Yep.
And he's very happy with that. The problem is that you don't want to be staring down a free item Twitch at like 25 minutes. So what you want to be looking at is shutting down Shirasi before he can get ahead. Hero Combat's taking a lot of damage that he's going to eat out. And essentially, never mind, here comes Pykex ulting down to the bot side. Eternity tries to yoink himself away, but that's not going to happen. Pykex, all the damage, takes him down. Shirasi goes down very low, but still manages to survive. 4-man taught by Gen Lyra. Rainem tries to ult himself in. It's a 2-for-2 right now. Nitrox getting all the ults he can onto Pykex, but it's not enough. General Kenobi can't jump away from this. It's Pykex getting another kill for himself. Nitrox going very, very low in the tower, forces the flash. Pykex playing incredibly well. I think that's going to be it.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a 4v4 for the most part. Obviously, Hero Complex coming in from... what did he actually do? Did he shove it? I didn't see what exactly he did. I know he didn't obviously TP to bot lane. But, I mean, what a fight again. you're thinking that's not so bad. You get kills into Tristana, but again, another triple kill goes on to the Kled, and it's getting really, really scary.
No, and he really wants to get mounted again. The problem is, now he's back and instantly onto Nitro X. He tries to jump away, but that's not gonna happen. Pykex is playing out of his mind right now. The World Ender has been popped, but unfortunately, I think he's just gonna get back up and die. There's the Sandra's power, just DCs you down whilst Pykex throws all this damage at you. He's 12-0-1 on this pick now. Pykex is a monster this game.
Yeah, it's really just his world that's ending. That's a bit... Okay, suicide mission.
Oh, he's gonna get the Baron. Yep, the Baron. Inferno Dragon. That's actually very useful for them. They've secured both dragons so far, despite the fact that we were looking at Fat Raccoons being incredibly ahead, and it's because they have had that bot side pressure. They have those little things for themselves. The problem is, it's just Pykex is so strong that all Fat Raccoons now need to do, even if they want GRC to scale, you can just force fights right now. And you're very happy with doing that because Pykex can just engage a fight incredibly well by himself, and there's not really much they can do about that.
No. The only problem I see is that whilst the skate game still scales for the Twitch, if they do manage to get the 1K shutdown onto him, somehow get a good fight, then, you know, it could be a completely different team fight. But then again, he is playing, you know, as you said, out of his mind this game. He now has 2.5 items. It's just, I just don't see any way back from deciding what to buy. I just really don't see any way back. But just hats off to him. Played absolutely fantastic so far, and we'll see if it continues.
Yeah, I mean, this is already a statement game by Pykex. This entire game, it needs to be titled "Ban My Kled" or this, and his white teams ban it. It's pretty clear that he's very good on the pick. A lot of teams suspect it, and Genesis Green decide they don't want to ban the Kled. They let it through, not even just first pick phase, but second pick phase too. It goes through both of them. Oh, but I hear a Kled ult. Here comes Pykex charging into the team. Good taunt used by Lyra there, but there's not going to be another turn. He's going to be chunked down. He's going to try and get out, but that's not going to have a Cataclysm come down. Pykex, he's legendary. General Kenobi gets ulted down. I don't know what he was doing there. Triasi gets the kill for himself. He's 3-1 on 500 Twitch, not doing too bad himself. They're just going to walk down and siege the turret.
Yeah, that was a little bit strange. Don't know what Kenobi was doing there, but yeah, again, you know, another secured tower, another team fight won, and just got the blood force, you know, 13-0-2. Yeah, I mean, I don't see him getting Kled again. You know, for a man who loves his stats, and don't get me wrong, he's fantastic at doing them for EQ, but oh boy, he's gonna enjoy putting this one together.
Oh yeah, Team of the Week Pykex coming through. He's gonna be very well. I say that he still has another game to play, but with a performance like this, it's going to be hard for someone to topple his stats. It really is.
Yeah, for individual performance, yeah, it will be. But yeah, you know, there's still other games to be played. But yeah, certainly looking at that so far, just if I'm Genesis Green right now, that's definitely, I feel like, the only win condition you have is just play through this Tristana. Try and get Galio to do as much damage as he can to as many members with his taunt, and just hope you win it. Apart from that, there's not much you can do. They're far too far ahead. You know, Wayne and Hero could just literally int for the team to get them kills. Doesn't really matter. Side pieces to this puzzle, but yeah.
Yeah, and we like to talk about Jack being Pykex being the main kind of source for the team's like incredible performance right now. You have to look at the supporting players. We have Wayne M. He's 0-2-10. Hero Complex 0-0-9. They're not getting any kills, but they're very happy to just lay down the CC and let Pykex free hit on them. And that's the key thing. Wayne M and Hero Complex, they don't need to carry this game. They've recognized that. And their whole job in the fights now is just to lock down key members so that Pykex can get onto them and tear through them. And Pykex doesn't even need to necessarily be around because, like we talked about before, he has the ultimate. If they try and force a fight mid right now, he can come straight up there with an ultimate.
Yeah, true. I'm not sure. I was just thinking. Well, what was in the pause? I wonder who they're going to be playing after. I take it. Who are Fat Raccoons going to be playing after this? They're playing Team Abandoned. Oh, so I mean, they're going to be going into that game with a lot of confidence if they are able to obviously close this one out. yeah, they're, you know, I can see the confidence flying for that game. I just don't see any mistake that they can make big enough for Genesis to come back, but you just never know.
Yeah, I mean, miracles can happen. I think I forget which game it was that I casted. I think it was last week, but we ended up having like a big base raise for the Elder Dragon, and it was like 50 minutes in, and even though we fought one team that already won the game, so it isn't over by any means. But Pykex is playing so well, and so is the rest of his team, to the point where right now it's just it's hard to come back. What you want to have now is Nyrex. He's still doing very well for himself. He's 3-2-2, 146 CS. He's not even that far behind Turasu, who we praise for playing well. He's only like 400 gold behind. So as long as he can farm up, get his level lead. I mean, Tristana at level 18 has some insane range. And what he could possibly do is try and get to a point where Pykex can't get on him. The problem is Pykex has been very good at getting onto the key members like Nyrex and the Tristana, and so it's going to take Pykex not playing as well as he is right now.
Yeah, true. Yep, and yeah, that's the thing. Is it going to be enough? I don't think so. But and also, I'm forgetting even if they do manage to get on to Trust, like they do have the polymorph. That's going to buy them some time to reset, reposition. And never mind, as you said, that Pykex with his ults always been able to land up to the backline so far. I feel like it's going to be too much, but yep, closing out a game is much different than just getting a lead. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how quickly they can do so.
A summoner has reconnected.
Hero Complex disconnecting, reconnecting, but Pykex connecting with a lot of his hooks and a lot of his charges. So we'll have to see how the rest of this game pans out. Right now, Raccoons, they are sitting on a 5k gold lead, but that's all on Pykex. He has a 5.5k gold lead just between Extinct and him. And the rest of this team, I mean, you look at the jungle matchup, Kenobi's actually ahead in gold by about 500 gold. Mid lane's very even. Bot lane, yeah, Truati's about 400 gold ahead. And support, I mean, who cares about support gold, but Eternity's like 500 gold up. So...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got a point. Yeah, 5.5k is just a humongous lead. He hasn't even got an item together yet. A bit of a shame to see this, how poor and dark is on the Aatrox. But yeah, gonna get back into game and we'll see how this goes. But I mean, all of Fat Raccoons, I'm pretty sure they'll be hoping that they don't throw this game. Maybe the pressure of that might make them take less risks, but time will tell what they do.
Yeah, time will certainly tell. And right now, they're going for a very nice on fever run, and every now and then they'll hop near the mid lane, sweep some vision around. It's well executed by them. Radiant's actually going to go a little bit aggressive in the jungle to try and sweep some vision, but no one can really stop him right now. They just have to be fairly wary of the engaged potential of Genesis Green, because like we talked about at the start, they do have a good draft, and with characters like Kha'Zix, like Nautilus, then have Galio follow up, you still have to be wary if you're on the side of Fat Raccoons, because if you're Shuasi, you get Kenobi's jumped in though. He is getting a lot of damage down actually. He might get a kill on Wayne M, but Pykex is here to try and save the day. Problem is Wayne M goes down. Hero Complex ults himself. Odd play, but okay.
Yeah, weird flex, but I mean, I'm just, yeah. What's going through your mind when you're thinking, okay, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this 1v3, or maybe it's just thinking, I'm in a bad position. I'm not going to get out. I've jumped over the wall. I'm going to die anyway. But yeah, just a bit of an odd play. Another kill goes over to Pykex. Don't think he needs any more at this point. And yeah, just another strange death, but nothing coming out of it as of yet.
Yeah, just gonna sweep some more vision. I mean, right now, Fat Raccoons, they have been on cleanup duty with these wards. They've walked into the top side, cleared out some wards, walked to the bot side, cleared out some wards. And now they're going to the next movement themselves and looking towards the dragon now. Would be only their first dragon of the game if they get this. which I'm pretty sure they will. Starting now pushing the mid lane, no, they're going to have to go respond to that. I don't think they're worrying too much about having to go there, though.
No. Yeah, it'd be very suicidal with the Cledel up to go for this Baron. So early on with no real lead on anyone, but yeah, we're going to see a bit of a split right now, which is really good for Genesis. This is what they need to do. They need to split the map. They need to try and slow this game down. Try to avoid as many fights as they can next 5-10 minutes. Hopefully don't lose Baron. Then maybe they might get a lucky fight. Someone oversteps, someone misplays.
Yeah, the problem is that it's very often been Genesis Green who have been overstepping their boundaries. They need to learn to play disciplined style, start a little bit of a Baron dance, stripping some vision, and try and do that as best they can, knowing that certain members are missing on the map. And we just spotted the Sandra bot side, so they should recognize that now. And think, okay, maybe we can go to the Baron, seek out some more wards for themselves. They do have a decent amount of wards down, but the problem is that it's at an odd time. I think Raccoons are just doing a very good old rotation, because essentially what they're doing is every time they're out of the Baron pit, sure, Genesis Green can get wards. The problem is that after that, the wards don't really matter because they're kind of aware that they can't just rush down the Baron that fast. And
yeah,
so it's a hard one because you want to have wards on the Baron, but there's certain times you can have it and certain times that you've got to be aware that maybe those wards aren't as important as you perceive them.
Yeah, but I mean, it depends. If they, sorry, it depends if they can even sustain the vision, because obviously once they get in and put wards down, you know, Fat Kids are just going to come over and quit it again. It's not like they can sustain the vision that they have. But it is a good game for them to play, if it does go like that. But times like this, it does look a little bit risky, but they're going to be okay. He's going to get out. I was just noticing the haunting guys on the Galio right now, plus the triple tabby. I'm just thinking your magic damage source has got tabbies and a haunting guys, and there's no morale, there's no Oblivion Orb coming through. The Sortues, there's no pen.
So Joker gets engaged upon though. The Flagger comes out. Here comes the Galio. Hero's entrance into the fight. Wayne's going to be tucked down very slowly on the back line of the fight. Shirazi's going to get as many ults as he can off. He's going to away, but it's not going to be enough. Never mind, here comes Pykex. He wants to clean up this fight. He's already got a double kill. Hero comes going to try and CC down the Tristana as best he can. We're just going to keep the plan over there. Never mind, here comes Pykex. Extinct going to die again to him. And a 1-1 at the end of the fight. It looked good for Genesis Green for a second, but then Pykex arrived, and as soon as Pykex arrives to the fight, it completely flips. He gets a double kill, and that's it.
Yeah, gets 3 kills in that fight. Did a very good combination when he got the Q off on the Galio, but then manages to flash over the wall just as he dies. Just good enough. And yeah, I thought it could have been the pop-off for Neurolex, but just not enough. Pykex is just too strong, but you know, you're almost thinking that's the sort of fight they need. This could be a huge shutdown.
Are you sure you want to do that, buddy? Are you sure about that? Oh, he is sure about that. He's actually dismounting Pykex. Yeah. He's been put out by himself. That's going to be a 1k shutdown onto Pykex. Cash in on Kenobi. Check his gold bank now. He is at 1.5k gold on Wayne M.
Yep.
He's doing very happy about that. What I see him now do is just cash it in. You're sat on 1.3k gold already. I mean, sure, you can farm up a little bit more, I guess, but you can just cash in on that right now.
I just wonder if that's a client bug. I'm just wondering if that's still another 1k shutdown.
It is.
Because he is that fed, it's another 1k, because normally it drops. 800 down to 550. Like, it drops like that, a couple hundred off, I think. If not, it's half. But I'm pretty sure it's like a couple hundred off. So if that's another 1k shutdown, then you know he has to be very, very careful. He can't do that again. He can't afford to give that kind of gold over.
Yeah, it's unfortunate positioning by him, but even then, 1 death, you shouldn't be worrying too much about it. He's back in the fight now. And...
Oh yeah, true, 100%. Didn't cost him anything, but you know, if they are willing to just jump on him like that, then you know you got to be a little bit more careful when you're on your own.
Yeah, because the thing is, they're gonna start getting items for themselves now. Genesis Green, believe it or not, they actually have a gold income, and so they will be slowly but surely buying items, getting themselves back into this game, and it's a worry when it feels like the pace of the game is kind of slowed down now. Because sure, you have Jurassic in the Twitch, the problem is he's very easily locked down. And so, unless you're investing your Lissandra and your Lulu down to protecting Jurassic, which would then mean that Pykex doesn't have the CC support that he would traditionally have, Jurassic is going to die very quickly in this fight, and it means the scaling aspects of the composition can't really come to fruition.
Yeah, that's true. You know, completely Andre's onto the Galio. You know, you've got almost that. I mean, how much gold is he sitting on? So he has enough gold for IE at the moment, and the Tristana. But you know, they're not, because this Baron is just melting.
Yeah.
They got to get there. 6, 5. Is he gonna get there in time? I don't think so.
Oh, it's gonna be a close one. Comes down, knocks up Olympia. The smite has been put down. Eternity is going to be chunked very, very hard. Good cast, some forces to jump out. Justana. Lyra's been left on his own. Here comes Pykex into the back line. Nyrolex has been took down. World Ender comes down, but once again, he's just reviving it for the team. That is an ace. That is a Baron, and they are going to walk it down the top lane.
Yep, that's probably going to be, I mean, death timer is 30 seconds on some, but most likely going to be an inhib. Maybe a double inhib and then reset push bot. But yeah, it's just not enough now. It's far too far gone. The chances of a perfect fight, it's not even close if they want to win this game. Pykex is just far too strong. And then when you have Lulu Lissandra, it's just going to counter you even harder. And yeah, it's just very, very well played by Fat wins this game.
Yeah, I mean, they played very well down from Pykex just individually outclassing Extinct to the top lane to their vision game being incredibly good, and their rotations. From micro to macro, they've played a very, very good game, and I'm honestly really impressed. They've come from an 0-2 week, and this is their bounce back, and this is certainly showing we're not an 0-2 team. That was a blip on the radar. That isn't a consistent thing, and that's a statement they're making here.
Yeah, 100%. You know, we see the God, I keep seeing these Leandries instead of Oblivion orbs, but anyway, yeah, you know, it's they're 100% great bounce back game. Obviously their big test will be next against Abandoned. That'll be a big test. See how well they really do. But yeah, so far I can't fault them. Yeah, a few mistakes. You know, we were saying the game was slowing down, but yeah, they got the Baron. Yeah, just push bot, wait for waves to jump in, and close this game out.
Yeah, and I don't think Raccoons are now getting very worried. I think they can now take it very slowly, actually. They don't have to force any big fights. They can just start pushing in waves. They know that top side is going to push in with a inhibitor wave, good inhibitor wave in mid side. What are we going to do now? Group bot, push that in, time it with the super minion pushes, and you should be fine. And
yeah,
if you execute on that very well, you don't even necessarily need to win a fight to win the game, because they're going to have to force on you, and when they do that, they're probably going to lose.
Yeah, I mean, Pykex is just going to shuffle these waves in, as he can rotate over easily with R. I mean, there could be a
Three-man tornado gets used right there. Extinct gets to cover himself. Here comes the hero entrance. Pykex on the backside, but he's stuck under a tower. Never mind though, the rest of the team is just outnumbering the other group. On the other side of the fight, but we can't even see, Kled just got a kill onto Nyrolex there. He's got the GA though. He's going to be able to very easily get himself out here. He survives. Extinct is going to go down. That's going to be the ace, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be the game. Great play by Fat Raccoons there. Flash forward.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we've seen the Buster shot. It was pretty good. It cancelled the Pike ult, well, the Cled ult even, from Pike, but yeah, just not enough. You know, far too strong. Pykex with just an unbelievable game. You know, 21-7. I don't know who my MVP is going to be though. It's a bit of a tough one.
It's a real rough one. I think Pykex may or may not just edge it out for us. I'll be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I knew he was good on Cled, but you know, I didn't think one kill would do that much for him, as it has done. And yeah, the game was just done. Got one kill, a little bit of a lead, done.
And the big question to start the game, that's an ignite from Pykex. He needs to win the lane in order to really make use of it. And then he won the lane, and he won it hard. And he kind of proved to me, yeah, sure, great move, good move, Spikex. And so don't go anywhere though, guys. That was just the first game of the night, an absolute masterclass of Kled play right there from Pikex. Coming up now, though, I believe we have Pandemonium versus SRG Lyra. Should be game 2, as far as I know. So we'll see. Well, me and Dima will be heading off. I believe replacing us will be Cradden and CJ. So if you ever get a bit of a Cradden cast, then I'll see you around.
Yep, pleasure.
It was still CLCJ until what the fuck? Hello?
That was brilliant. Yeah, let's go for it. That was impromptu, but let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, hello there, and welcome to Definitely Not Scuffed Game 2 of the EQ stream tonight. We're in week 2, and we've just witnessed Byron and Demo deliver a very emphatic result and a very emphatic top laner. Isn't that right, CJ?
Oh yeah, I mean, we've definitely heard rumblings of the Pike Kled. We don't get to see it that much, and I think we all know why now, don't we? I think I will be very excited if we get to see it even one more time for the rest of the season. But man, that was a sensational performance by him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you can look at matchups sometimes, you can make predictions, but sometimes when you have some great skills and a bit of luck, as you always have, You can see amazing streaks, and I think Pyke ended up 13-0 by 18 minutes. So if anything is going to give him an ego boost, just watching the last 30 minutes of that stream could be.
Yeah, if you're ever feeling down, you can just bring that VOD up and that'll pick him right back up. The best thing I saw, I think, from that game was when he died with 1,000 gold bounty and still had 1,000 gold bounty. That was the real... That summed that whole experience up for me, I think.
Yeah, it's like a series of masks there. To be honest, Fat Raccoons, they obviously won with a massive gold lead. The one death on Kled was the only moment they looked like potentially losing. And it's a win they needed because they were 0-2 last week. So it's a bit of a mental recovery for them.
For sure. I think, I just need to get something out of the way here. Goodness, back onto the stream. I just want to say how psyched I am to be casting with you today, Cradden. After working with and around you for about, we're coming up on 2 years now, through the CL days and in the EU amateur scene in general, I never expected, honestly, to be casting alongside you on this virtual desk at some point, so it's funny how life works out. Yeah,
likewise, it's a privilege to be casting with yourself, and yeah, from going back to Compete League, we could talk about our shared history to the stream for several minutes. We might need to later if there's a big pause on the stream, but we'll get to that at some point.
Okay, so let's look at the matchup we're going into today in Game 2 here of Week 2. Pandemonium versus SRG Lyra. Pandemonium on an 0-2 record coming into this, and SRG Lyra on a 2-0 record. So definitely from Week 1 we can see a disparity in results there, but this early on in the season, I think these teams both definitely have a lot more to show.
Yeah, indeed, CJ. There's a lot that the two teams have to show. They're looking at the results, SRG Lyra being the 2-0 team, you wouldn't expect that based on the ranking of the teams, because SRG Lyra, across the board, they're only mid-platinum, whereas Pandemonium, who haven't had the best results with 0-2, they're Diamond 4 across the board, with 2 substitutes as well. So we'll see whether that's freak results, or whether we've got some serious Smurf cases on the side of Lyra. But normally when that sort of thing happens, it shows the amount of synergy that 5 players have together in a team that transcends playing individually in solo queue.
Yeah, exactly. We definitely, as you said, there is a definite matchup, and them carrying the 0-2 record has got to be weighing on the mental game of Pandemonium. But I think they can probably stick to their guns if they can pick themselves back up for this week. They definitely do have the tools to take it to Lyra. Their second loss of Week 1 was a very close, drawn-out game. Good points that we've shown from all players, decent scorelines. So I think we will be seeing an interesting match here.
Indeed, and you're right on both teams there, CJ, because both teams have had long games. I think the average game time for Lyra is 37 minutes from the two. Pandemonium, they've had 38 and a 45-minute game, so they definitely know how to drag out the game. That you've got picks such as Jin and Kaiser, who can really carry the game into the late phase. And both teams, while they might have tanks in the jungle and might tank in the mid lane, they have a lot of damage threats between them.
Yeah, it's interesting to see which teams are picking a more team fight focused style and which teams are going for a kind of carry-oriented style. I really do actually like the meta right now a lot, because it does seem to play into both of those styles as being very valid, definitely at least at this state of play. So I'm very interested in to see the pick and bans. There's a lot of different options in every lane, there's a lot of different styles we can see, and teams that are being more successful tend to be able to perform both these styles at a high level. So we're going into pick and ban here. Let's talk about our first bans coming out on here.
Okay, so the first few bans, to be honest, this is about the most scripted ban phase you'll ever read, because looking at the ranks and the game statistics of the players in solo queue, nearly all of the players, all 10 in this match, are either one-tricks or have a strong preference towards playing on one particular champion. So for the side of Pandemonium, who are on the blue side, the top laner Hummer plays Camille, Artie plays Rek'Sai, and Bumblebee plays Vladimir. So I think they're going to be the 3 bans that SRG Lyra pull out.
Yeah, we're seeing the Camille and the Rek'Sai gone away here, taken away by SRG, and the Veigar taken away by PND as well. It's an interesting one, the Trundle too. I think I want to see how the champions that got changed recently for 9.1 get through. I know that particularly Sejuani jungle has been buffed a lot. I know that a lot of players have been testing it out and trying to get back into it. RT particularly has been playing some Sejuani recently in line with those 9.1 buffs, and there goes the final ban there. So it's interesting to see that it was taken away, because I think that would have been a very interesting matchup to see who gets it. Kreiner from SRG was known to be playing it last week before it was cool and could have contested that pick, but I guess they just weren't feeling comfortable letting something that strong go away. And it will be Huma picking up the Vladimir, as you mentioned, for the first pick.
Yeah, we know Sejuani's always cool. She's from the Freljord. But yeah, playing against SRG, and it's going. So we've got Sejuani off the table, and on a similar vein, I think Nasus could be a really strong pick with the increase of his siphoning strike stacks. It just really adds to what you're talking about with the late game powerhouse of both the teams. But as it stands, we haven't seen that as a priority pick. We've seen the Vladimir, which is Bumblebee's heavy preference in the mid lane, and we've seen Kaiser Alistair on the side of SRG Lyra, which is actually the bot lane that they played twice last week against SRG Kaylee and against the Fat Raccoons.
Sure, so it looks like everyone's going for comfort picks at the early stage in the draft, just getting something locked in. They know they least the minimum standard on, and that is going to be a Lucian Braum bot lane locked in to match up with them. So a very lane dominant team here from the Braum and Lucian going into that Kaiser Alistar. So I think that it's going to be, the onus is going to be on Lodberg and Grathwold to not concede that lane, and if they do, that we know that they can perform on these into the late game. Oh, there's a Galio. I love it.
And there it is. Vladimir versus Galio. That should be a good matchup as well because of the consistent sustain of Vladimir, but also the raw tankiness of Galio, the magic resistance and magic shield coming off the shield of Durand, and just the mobility to lock down Vladimir in the eventuality of a gank. So we'll look at those two matchups so far, but in general across the teams, we're seeing fairly conventional compositions, and we're seeing a fairly nice amount of tankiness.
Yeah, I was hoping that I get to see some Killcore Galio, and I'm hoping that PND would do me a solid and let it through the bans so that I can witness that majesty. And I think it was a pretty risky move to let the Galio through. It's definitely very strong right now, but we'll see if Bumblebee is up to the task of fending that one off. Let's talk about the Phase 2 bans here. We've seen Aatrox and Urgot from the side of SRG, so very top lane carry focused bans, and then junglers from the side of PND taking away Zac, I should say, and Jargon.
Indeed. So looking at Hummer, he's still got a couple of picks to go for. Wukong and Nasus do appear very prominently in his picks. When you look at what he's trying to do with the team, he might want to balance the early game of Edgar's Lucian with some later game scaling, or he might want to present a split push threat to the team. So still several picks open to him. We see that maybe he'll have to counter an Olaf, but that's more likely a jungle pick from SRG Lyra.
Yeah, I think we could. That's a Hecarim gets locked in. That would be interesting and skewing, if anything, more even towards an early and mid game, and leaving somewhat of a late game weight upon Bumblebee's shoulders to carry with the damage there. And I think they'll definitely be relying more on this early mid game, depending on what they pick. We did see some Nasus last week, and as you say, he has been buffed. So I would like to see how it matches up here. Picking it blind though, just buffed or not, can still be quite a risky move. Looks like it's going to be a Jax maybe instead. Definitely a better scaling option here.
Yeah, the scaling being left in there. And Jax and Hecarim, a very nice potent combination for the early game. A lot of mobility if you can catch the enemy laner out. We are yet to find out what that is, because SRG Lyra have left their top lane for last. They're going to get to counter pick. You could go for a ranged champion, but that would leave you very susceptible to the Jax gap closer. We've got last few seconds before we see what goes in and whether it's an Olaf top. It turns out that we're going to get a Shen in the top lane.
That's a very strong team fighting comp they built up here. Look at the front line on SRG's side. They've got the Galio, Olaf, Shen, and Alistair all potentially peeling off and distracting for this Kaiser. That's very scary.
Indeed, CJ. One of the things that might need to be considered for SRG Lyra is, while they've got a lot of tankiness and chain CC, the damage that they're putting out is pretty much all attack damage. So Killcore might have half a mind to go fully offensive with his build and go for some heavy chunks with Winds of War.
Yeah, I think Galio's definitely been tuned more towards that recently. He's much more of a lane bully, and if he goes more damage, he's going to get more heavily rewarded for doing that. going against the Vladimir, it can be hard to break through that sustain. And Bumblebee has taken Ignite as well, so he's looking for aggression in the lane. So this is going to be quite a scrappy one, I think. It's going to be quite an impactful lane on the rest of the game too. A lot of weight, as I said, on Bumblebee's shoulders to be relevant and maintain that power into the late game, because he is going to have to do a lot of work in getting through all these obstacles that SRG are going to be putting in his way to try and kill that Kai'Sa.
Indeed, yeah. Vladimir is going to be pretty much the sole AoE ult that does damage in the game. You're going to have a lot of single target focus, maybe a bit of disruption with abilities like the Counter-Strike and Galio's Taunt. But when you're looking for the teamfight phase, Bumblebee is the player you're going to be looking at as we get later and later, as Vladimir stacks up his items and might try and get a Hemo Plague onto several enemies. I think just because of the tanky nature of the enemy team, we might be looking at several shred items, such as the Liandry's Torment, bought early from Bumblebee.
I think that would be a reasonable call for him. The damage coming out from SRG is quite mixed with the Galio, especially if he goes aggressive with damage, as you said. And I'm struggling to see how PND are going to be able to fend this off. They're going to have to burn through these tanks very quickly in fights, or have such good target selection to kind of weave in and out of them and get to the important targets first. Because otherwise, I feel like if they're going to go in, they're going to dump some damage, and everyone apart from Hummer is going to kind of fall off quite early on. And if they don't immediately get those kills, they're going to get the fight turned on them with the CC that SRG is going to be bringing. So if PND don't get an early lead and try and snowball this one, I think it's going to be very difficult for them to make it back in.
And CJ, that goes exactly with what PND did in the last two games. They were able to take the fight to late game, but in both of the games they lost last week, they were just slowly snowballed against and just couldn't get an advantage. So to repeat what you've said, that's the key for them. They need to put their enemies down quickly. They need to use the pushing and laning advantages that they have with the champions like Jax and Vladimir, and they need to take Shen and Galio out of the farm race. And Artie needs to get the Hecarim ganks into the right place. It's definitely, as you said, a pick game and an objective funneling game, rather than waiting for the full team fight where the wall of tanks can drop down.
Yeah, and they've built not even just a tank line from SRG, their global presence is so high with double TP, Shen ult, Galio ult, that the Lucian Braum, who are really need to try and get an advantage in this lane and are likely going to be forcing this, they're going to need to be ready to turn a 180 and get out of there on an absolute drop of a hat, because if they get a Galio ult or a Shen coming on in there, they are going to get it turned on them badly. So it's going to have to be very considered engages, or maybe particularly hair trigger, kind of, we need to go right now before the enemy team realizes what's happening. I think PND just have a much more difficult task ahead of them in this game. Not that they can't do it, I think they have the tools to get through to that late game. They have a bit more scaling than usual, and if they manage to get advantages, this could be very good for them. But I think they're gonna have to work a lot more harder to achieve the same goal.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, we've seen the pick and ban phase. We're going to be transitioning onto the loading screen now. And we will, before we start to go into the Rift, we get a final look at the Keystones and just sort of confirm the theories. Immediately in the top and mid lane, we can see that Pandemonium's Hummer and Bumblebee are going offensively. There's the Conqueror on Jax and the Electrocute on Vladimir, along with the Ignite, which really underlines that they're going for the early pressure, that they're going to try and take down the tanky lineup champions before they can get too much defense, and while they're struggling with wave clear in the early laning phase.
Yes, and we have Fleet, Footwork, and Grasp coming out from the Kai'Sa and Shen of SRG. So more kind of designed to get through the lane. Obviously, Grasp is a pretty ubiquitous choice on Shen, and it does give him a little bit of extra trading power with the Jax. So the Conqueror will have to be something he needs to watch out for. And then Kai'Sa taking Fleet just to get that heals off, just to keep her alive and keep her sustained up in that lane until her team can come and support and get the Birdio coming out of the sky to turn out any engages. It's always a good sight to see.
Yeah, I think just on skin game between Birdio and the Mukau Alistair, I want SRG Lyra to sweep this. But
yeah, this is a tough one. I always make a point of checking which better skins. It's very important to me, but this is a close race, I've got to be honest. We've got Godstark Jax, High Moon Lucian, Mafia Braum, and then you've got Birdio and Mukau Alistair, plus the Blood Moon Shen. This is a tight one. Aesthetically wise, this is a tight one.
Yeah, it's tough to call. And of course, you guys in the community and in Twitch chat, you had the opportunity to call this game as well. The content team sent out a prediction form for this week, and I can reveal that in this game, it couldn't be closer. Out of 15 people, 8 have chosen SRG Lyra to be victorious, and 7 have chosen Pandemonium to break through. So we'll see if that's the team rosters and the substitutes and the coaches, or whether it's actual community members.
Okay, and we are going to go straight onto the pause here, keeping that theme from last game. And it looks like we have a runes mistake from the side of PNG. Apparently a client bug asking for a remake. So we'll have to see how that goes down with the admins. And in the meantime, we can talk about those predictions, because I'm surprised that they went as close as they did. Honestly, given the difference in records, because that's like the first thing you see is the 2-0 on one side and the 0-2 on the other. I think it's really telling how close they are, that with such different results that they could be this close. I think that ELO matchup is maybe skewing it a little bit in people's minds too.
Yeah, with 2 fairly unknown teams, maybe that's the expectation in the community. Maybe people are seeing the different ranks and just sort of writing off the 0-2 as 2 very close losses that happened in the late game on week 1. But either way, we're going to see either a 1-2 record or an 0-3 record. The destiny is in the hands of the 10 players on the Rift, and they're on the Rift now. They are going ahead with the game, and we are seeing them in defensive position to begin with.
Yeah, and I mean, the electrocute rune on Vlad isn't that much of a downside. I mean, we don't know his minor runes, so maybe there's a little bit more disparity in what he wanted in there. But I don't think that Vlad is in a particularly bad position. You know, he doesn't have I don't know, Guardian. So I think we should still be able to see a competitive showing out of him. And I do like to see this, just to know, I do like to see these long vision lines from both teams. I think it's definitely the safest way to start that early off.
And yeah, you've got the 5 players and 5 openings in the jungle path, so just keeping up the guard and being sentinels for your own team. It's great to avoid the sort of wards and the sense of uncertainty that can bring. One quick thing I'd like to point out is that both junglers will be starting on their blue buffs. With them being heavy AD champions, you can see them sort of starting red for the quicker clear, but I think Hecarim, in deviating and ignoring the bot lane gank, might have something different in mind. We go immediately to bot lane and see Grathwall has been moved out of the area down to 20% health.
It's interesting to see aggression this early. Normally, level 2 spike, which they will be reaching very shortly, but they just committed and they know they have the even stronger level 1 than the other, and getting such an early chunk for Grathwall is so helpful for them, because it gives them even more pressure on this level 2. They don't quite land the bomb engage, but they're definitely asserting their dominance early on.
Yeah, before even a jungle gank has the chance to be made, we're seeing the ganks. We're seeing the individual trades coming in the lanes. However, this might be good. Bumblebee is under threat for Pandemonium. SRG Kryna comes in, forces the flash, and gets out of there.
Very nice start there against the Vlad. Taking the flash away early means that it opens them up to push and try and go for a kill there, because once the Vlad hits the 6 or even level 3 or 4, it becomes so hard to gank around that pool. And the Galio engage, unless you flash W, it's pretty linear. You can see the E coming in, you can see him charging the W, so it's pretty hard to catch out that Vladimir, but getting that flash early on means we might see a return gank from the Olaf.
Indeed, he's managed to secure and consolidate his vision by taking both of the initial scuttle crabs on the map. That's in stark contrast to RT's Hecarim, who's backed initially to get the boots, seeing this how he went Predator with his primary keystone. So he's looking to go in now and get an advanced gank with Predator.
Yeah, Hecarim getting that extra scaling of movement speed means getting those early boots is even more useful for him than most. Something that's very good for the side of SRG is they have both scuttles right now. Just a very helpful way to start the game off. They have definitely very strong vision. And
and here comes the gank. Devastating charge knocks Grathwall back, but that is a 2-man pulverize. Forces the flash, but it's a good way to escape from the Predator.
Yeah, Grathwall kept his head there, got that 2-man pulverize up before the flash, means he can get away from that Braum passive stack. So a good gank from the side of RT, uses that Ghost and that early Predator boots, but stymied off by the Kai'Sa Alice. And this is what they need to do. If they get aggressed on, they just need to keep it calm, keep their heads, walk away, maybe lose a couple of CS. They're actually still up in CS right now. and just kind of scale up into that late game where they're going to have more impact.
And it sort of goes across the whole of the team. Although Mola's rebucking that trend, he's going in on Hummer and has to pop the counter-strike in order to fend off the Shen's Twilight Assault.
Yeah, the Corrupting Potion from Jax is now depleted. There's still a potion on the side of Muller. He's shoving in that wave. They've got the crab is still there, or rather just despawned and have vision there. So he's feeling pretty safe to shove in that lane, having seen Artie bot and then used his Ghost and Predator relatively early on. And I think he's looking to try and get an advantage over this Jack, trying to keep him down, keep him out of money before he gets those 2-3 item spikes as long as possible.
But here comes the fairly offensive positional teleport. He could have gone for the tower. Hummer is going for Mola here, pops the Conqueror, has the Empower ready, might try and force a flash, goes for the kill. There it is, follow flash, first blood, Pandemonium.
And it looks like Mola just overstayed a little bit. He has a bit too comfortable in his strategy, and Hummer said, no, still Jax, I'm still level 5, I've got my buttons to press, got that TP back in, and instantly took it straight to Mola before he could back off. Muller wanted to get that wave pushed in and couldn't quite make it happen, ends up giving up first blood for it. His plan to deprive the Jax of gold has gone completely south now.
And it's not quite the Pike X takeoff we saw in the previous game, but Hummer is off the ground, and that's really important for Pandemonium and their overall game plan. They are going to push fairly well in this early game, but to get kills is more than they could have dreamed for at this point.
Yeah, exactly. If we look at the mid lane here, which has been relatively quiet since that burnt flash, we haven't seen the Olaf return just yet, but Vlad is quite far up in CS considering how it is in the game. Hasn't actually recalled yet by the looks of it, so Killcor's TP is down to try and catch up with that CS, but is still behind. So that's kind of the shining light for PND here in the mid lane too. They've got top lane going well for them, mid lane's going well for them, bot lane is going fine. We're ideally looking for more advantage there, but at least going even is nothing to be sniffed at this early on.
Yeah, Galio coming back with items and able to put some pressure on the Vladimir. One quirk, it's that the items are 2 Dark Seals, so with the... It's only really the base stats, given that the unique passives don't stack due to them being unique. He just wants that ability power and the healing from potions to stack that early game. We've got an engaged bot side, devastating charge, Artie coming in, Grathwall the target, the flash was burned, and now his life is burned. Meksha, the support, taking the kill for Pandemonium.
Well, mid lane too, here we go.
Yeah, he is low, forced to pop the W, the troll pull to get out of their kill core, putting down the pressure.
Fights everywhere here. Bot lane going in favor of blue side, but SRG taking it straight back to them in mid and top lane, shoving the laners back. Definitely nice to see the return gank there from Artie, exploiting that no flash from the Alistar, and they're going to move on to the Dragon here. And we have the Ocean Break, recently buffed, very strong in the early game, especially since they have the Vlad and the Jax looking to sustain in their lanes, just kind of hold their advantage and scale up. That's actually a very nice pickup for the side of Pandemonium.
Exactly, CJ. Regen is great for the early game. It's going to be great for the champions, as you've just described. It's probably worth losing a couple plates to go and pick that up and secure priority over that area and over the next Drake. As it happens, only the one plate goes, and it's to SRG Mola's Shen in the top side.
Yeah, he's managed to get that CS lead extended and the plate, so he's going to try and catch up a little bit. It's not going to be quite enough, but I think he really just needs to put the brakes on a little bit, play a little more safer, and then play to use his ultimate to secure an advantage in another lane. Given that the Jax already has his Tiamat finished, and he's feeling confident, he's got that lane shoved up, I really think he just needs to take the farm, take the L, and just try and turn that into a W in mid or bot.
And yeah, you can really see it in both of the builds coming out. Both Hummer and Mola have gone for pushing builds. You've got the Tiamats for Jax, and you've got the Barmy Cinder, presumably a Sunfire Cape in waiting from Mola's Shen. They both really want to get the waves going for their own teleport purposes.
Yes. Now bot lane has returned with a little bit of money, a little bit of items. See if they can push that advantage even more. The flash is just about to come up for the Alistar, the ultimate 2 for Kai'Sa and himself, making it very hard to actually lock down and kill. And we'll see if they manage to make anything happen there. But apart from that, junglers just come back to their jungles, picking up the buffs again, doing a bit of clearing. They've had moderate impact so far. In fact, Olaf has been mostly coming up. I haven't seen him have that much to do, but now that he has that level 7, he's got that Predator, he's got that Bammy's ready, and I think he's looking to maybe take a fight.
Yeah, it's a bolt that time. You've got the farm. You want to turn that into a spike. It's just awkward for SRG Lyra because they can't pressure the Drake, it having been taken by Pandemonium a few minutes ago. They can't go for a Rift Herald, and at the moment, the Pandemonium team can fairly safely sit beneath their turrets, so it's a risky dive. Top lane, both health bars are low for Hummer and Mola, but they're used to that over the last 9 minutes.
Exactly. Still very scrappy up there. Not that much vision too, but both junglers are centered around the bot side right now. Potentially looking for some jungle steal from Olaf, but Hyper's going in bot lane again.
Yeah, there's the ult coming in. Glacial Fissure following up. Grathwall is again the target. Concussive blows. Fantastic. Forces the flash. Ignite still ticking. Cullen going for him. And that's a kill. Lodberg powerless to stave off the gank, but here comes Olaf. It's the Predator focus, but Artie is out of there. And Pandemonium picked up another kill.
You could see how much effort it took from Pandemonium to secure that kill. They hit the Braum ult nicely, and the Hecarim ult, and they needed the Lucian ult just to take that last bit of damage as the Ignite couldn't quite get it done. Grathwall losing his flash again, unfortunately, really almost did make it out. But it's going to be a further advantage for the Lucian Braum bot lane, which is exactly what they needed here.
And yeah, looking overall, Pandemonium, we talked in the pre-game about them requiring an early lead in order to buck the trend of them losing in the late game. They've got that so far with a small gold lead, an Ocean Drake, and a 3-for-0 kill lead. They just need to keep going at it and making sure they don't let it slip. Hummer might be in such a situation. Ragnarok comes in, ignores the counter-strike. Flash Taunt comes in from Mola. Fantastic play, and Kryna profits.
That was a dead-on Flash Taunt from the Shen. Very nicely executed there. They were abusing extra vision that SRG have in general across the map. Jax looking to place that ward, but Olaf was already in there waiting for him and just chased him down pretty easily. No flash used from Jax, so he still has that potentially, and the teleport up will probably be used to get back to lane here, but that's definitely gonna slow down his rush into his spikes. Here he comes in with a teleport.
Yeah, there comes the teleport. Hummer is going to be able to get some farm, staves off the plates going down on the tower. But this creates an interesting situation because both Mola and Killcore now have teleport advantage. 2 teleports to 0 is fantastic if SRG Lyra can engineer the split push and can engineer the teleport setup for their team. It's something to bear in mind during the next 5 minutes.
Looking at the vision from bot side, from Pandemonium, this is definitely what I want to see from them. It's so comprehensive and goes into the jungle quite deeply for the side of Lyra. So they see the Galio rolling down through the jungle, they're going to see him coming, and they're going to be able to get away if they end up caught in a potential Galio situation. They really do want to shove this advantage still, as you can see.
Yeah, and you could be describing it as it happens. Grathwall, very low. Cullen going in. Glacial Fissure, not quite picking it up, but Edgar takes the kill nonetheless. Galio having no opportunity. We see an SRG Lyra gang coming up top. Hummer pops the counter-strike. Doesn't stun Olaf. He has the Ragnarok once again. And Hummer is just able to get out after having burned his flash.
Grathwall is so close to living all of these times, and it's really so important for PND that he does finish that kill off and get in the actual kill with on Lucian. Now they're going to get pressure for this tower. It is matched by SRG Lyra on the top side getting plates, but I think it's so much more important that the Lucian and Braum are actually making these engages work, and they're not getting help on the side of Lyra from the Shen or the Galio. They have the ultimates that are designed to stop this exact thing happening, but we're just not seeing it.
And this could be interesting now. We have a fight over the second Drake of the game, the Infernal Drake. Edgar and Meksha coming in the bot lane for Pandemonium. They're coalescing around Killcore, but he pops the taunt. It's 4-on-2, and Killcore has got the first kill. Grathwall's coming in, Galio all coming in, and Pandemonium are backing off. Mola looking for a decisive taunt as Bumblebee is isolated on the other side of the fight. Mola looking for the Twilight Assault and forces Meksha's flash away. SRG really turning the screw there.
They've actually got the ults off just as I say that, and Galio...
Oh, Shen dives in the bomb. Mola going for it, and here comes the concussive blows threat. That's going to be an outplay there. Meksha so close dodges the Void Seeker, but the play is not over yet. Pandemonium is going to have to outplay some more. Grathwall might get some revenge, pops the Pulverized Headbutt, and takes out the support.
Yeah, SRG take that simple kill on the Braum there, caught with no health under the tower, and a really good choice pressuring there. They get the dragon as well, so that was a really nice fight for them. As it was a 4v2 in the favor of Pandemonium initially, it looked that SRG were done for, but then they managed to get that good taunt, the Shen ult coming down, keeping them alive, Galio doing so much damage and getting his ult off as well. It's actually enabled them to turn that fight, and then PND had to flee, giving up the dragon and tower plates and kills bot lane.
Yeah, fantastic turnaround for SRG. Great fight performance. They might try some more. Hummer fighting Killcore in the top lane. Killcore under threat. The shield is not good against the attack damage. Hummer gets the solo kill there. And that might be the first break.
Killcore feel bit off a little bit more than he can chew there. Maybe feeling a bit high on himself after that dragon fight. Tries to take a trade with the Drax and realizes he actually has no way to leave. Even he did have a splash up actually, so I think he was a little greedy with that one. But Hummer says, no, I am now 2-1-2. I'm still Jax, and if you come at me, you're going to use your trades. Galio's got a pretty linear trading pattern, and once he uses abilities, those cooldowns are so long, you just gotta wait until they come back up. And Hummer says, well, I've got the Jax consistent damage. I'm going to chase you down. I'm going to secure that kill and get your tower.
Yeah, it's great to read the mind games as one player turns away and the other keeps chasing. Might have the next engage over bot. It's 1 tower apiece. 2.5k gold lead for Pandemonium and SRG Lyra looking to defend their tower in the bot lane with players that are getting tankier by the minute. You're looking at the Cinderhulk coming out of Olaf. You're looking at the completed Proto Belt out of Killcore's Galio. And Mola is starting to build up the resilience as well. So it's becoming less and less of a kill opportunity for an instant dive from Pandemonium.
Yeah, I think it was the right choice for SRG Lyra not to commit to that fight. It looks like they were kind of thinking about it there, but Lucian is still very strong and not to be underestimated here. The Alistar is pretty far behind, has the ultimate but no ignite, and I think it was definitely the right choice just to save that tower, look for maybe a better play in the future.
Indeed, we see the two teams retreat from that skirmish in the bot lane, go back to vision setup. Pandemonium maybe not having the vision as deep as you described about 3 minutes ago, but they're turning their focus slightly towards topside because the second Drake has fallen. Rift Herald still on the table for about 4 more minutes, and it looks like Artie will bait Killcore towards it for the moment.
Yeah, it's getting pinged out by Lyra here. They have to ward over the start it up, and it's going to be a contest here. 3 members from PND, however. They're definitely comfortable starting this one out, and they're daring SRG to come in. Big damage from Killcore though, as you said, the Proto Belt finished. They're getting aggressive bot side as well. They're trying to distract them. Not quite reset on the Rift Herald. They've got that eye. They might finish it off. I think they're going to get it here.
Yeah, 2 fights happening, and no top bots. That is a reset. Shen goes in, gets the taunt on Hummer, and that's going to be a quick follow-up. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, there's a kill, but we're going to focus on top side now, as SRG chase down Artie, force the ult, and land 1 kill. Meanwhile, Kai'Sa and Alistar are going to take out 2 players, Pandemonium losing their bot lane in the attempt, and it looks to be a fantastic swing across the board for SRG Lyra, who go for the Rift Herald.
That couldn't have gone any worse for Pandemonium there. They had a pretty decent setup on the top side with their, Jax, Vlad, Ekram almost getting that Rift Herald, but the reset just before they could finish it off, changing aggro one too many times, means they lost it, and SRG saw that, they pulled the trigger, they went in, got the kills, they're going to get the Herald now too, and we're going to see another fight in mid lane. They're just not letting up right now.
Yeah, this is the tank scaling that we're seeing, players being incredibly important synergetically. Tanks going into the same place together, they're able to lock down the targets, they're able to zone control despite the presence of Bumblebee's Vladimir, and they're just able to start getting that mid-game powerhouse that we talked about in the pre-game. SRG may have to retreat and watch out for those ults, but a taunt, a Galio knockup, and then Olaf running on you, that's very difficult to counter.
Yeah, it looks like we might be seeing the beginnings of what I hope does not become the classic PND, where they just start falling behind and they're going to get outscaled. They're still ahead in gold just by a smidge, 1-to-1 towers, they've almost got bot lane completed, and they're still kind of going back, setting up their vision again. And they've got tools here, but they need to stop hemorrhaging these fights. They had such a good start to this game, and just a couple of maybe misjudgments or slight misplays cost them an awful lot. Lyra's capitalizing on the mistakes so well.
Oh, and that's going to be an important stun. Hummer going in on Mola here. He's going to have backup from Kreiner, but may lose his life before he gets under the tower. Hummer maybe able to escape here. Here comes the Olaf running in very quickly, but chooses to go into defense mode. Nice solo kill, and allows an attempt at the 3rd Drake of the game, the Mountain Drake for Pandemonium.
You can see another unfortunate pattern developing of people thinking they can fight Hummer. And twice now it's gone pretty badly for them. They just get chased down without the towers. So the tower goes down bot lane, Dragon goes in the favor of PND, and here we see Hummer being really the strongest member so far. I think he is going to be the pivotal piece that allows PND to maybe come back in this game. He's playing well, he knows when he can take fights, when he can win, he's getting good objective control, he's been the one who's took both top and bot lane tower, and I think he's going to be the one to watch here.
Yeah, he's building up the damage as well, just as he completes the Mercury Treads to allow him a bit more survivability against the tanks. It's a really important tool when you're in the thick of it and don't have your counter-strike for a few seconds. So, yeah, absolutely agree. Hummer has got quite a large share of the gold, a 2k advantage on his opponent, and quite a heavy CS lead as well. So, really a focus for the resources of PND. PND, by the way, they're going to have to weather a storm in the next 2 minutes. The ultimates of SRG Lyra are back up, and the Rift Herald, the Eye of the Herald, is on Kreina's Olaf, and he has about 2 minutes to pop it. So it looks like SRG's time to set up a split play.
Looks like Hummer's caught out Muller again with no tower to do, no team. Galio is way up in the top lane and can't ult him. We'll see if Muller can get away, but getting away from this Jax is so difficult. He gets that counter-strike, and here comes his team though.
Yeah, Growl's in front, and Kreina is backing him up. Hummer can't quite finish off the kill this time, but it really goes to show the threat of that solo kill is doing wonders for PND.
Look at that pressure exuded by Hummer there, and now it's SRG Lyra, Eye of the Herald, and we'll kind of shove up the mid lane to maybe find a time to siege with that Herald. They just got shoved right back to their own tower, and PND will just say, okay, well, we'll just wait here. We don't have anything that's running out for us. It looks like SRG Lyra are actually just recalling, so they're going to be very pushed for time getting this Herald out. And it might actually just not really come to any use them at all, which would be so good for the side of PND.
Yeah, PND running Distractix. They've got that warding in the bot side again. They've got the control ward placed by Hummer so he can have coverage for his split pushes. And the rest of PND, they're just putting down that pressure in the mid lane, making it so difficult for SRG Lyra to concertedly push anywhere. And with the Rift Herald, Eye of the Herald running out in the next 20 seconds, it might be a desperation pop by the Olaf of Kreina.
This is what I want to see more from Lyra. I want to see Galio in mid lane so that he can actually support the Shen if it goes south against the Jax and can maybe go to any more fights. When he's up in that top lane, it's so hard for him to actually contribute without using his teleport, and the ultimate is so hard to be in range for. And it looks like the Rift Herald is going to get popped. This might take the tower in one hit. It does indeed. And are they going to be able to get to the second one? It's going to be a tough one with no minions. Here comes the stun.
Route 1 for Lyra. There was a threat of a dive there, but wisely they're backing off. They know there's split push threat in the opposition from Hummer, so they're not going to throw everything at the tower and just be happy with their one tower kill, which brings them back to within 1k gold of Pandemonium.
Yeah, honestly, it's good enough to at least get one tower with the Herald. They managed to get such a big swing taking it. It would have been a massive shame to not get more advantage. And they know that they can't really force anything too crazy at this point. And really, it's both teams have kind of stalled out a little bit. We had that Rift Herald placed down mid lane pretty much just out of necessity. And I'm interested to see what strategy they're going to go with going forward. They're going to go for a pick? Are they going to go for trying to kill out maybe one of the split pushers? Maybe try and collapse on this Jax from Pandemonium with a Galio ult and Shen ult, and then maybe push advantage that way and then take an advantage fight. Both teams just kind of scoping each other out, trying to fight over this vision. Still the Baron Pit very much in the favor of Lyra with 3 reds, but Pandemonium's coming to clear it out, so I'm not really sure who's going to make the first move here.
And yeah, we're almost at late game chess mode where one catch out is brutal, and that's what both teams are trying to avoid with their fairly deep wards, especially coming out from Lyra in the last few minutes, and more focus on the Baron Pit as the teams get stronger and more able to clear that big objective. Vladimir's going to keep pushing, and we might have a 1-3-1 being set up by Pandemonium. With that said, Hecarim coming towards the mid lane, looking to provide more of an impetus to that big battery.
Yeah, someone we've not seen that much of so far in this game is Bumblebee. He's on this Vladimir. He has the highest CF in the game, but he is 0-0-0 with 2 completed items. So he does have a lot to offer in fights now. And this is before the side of Lyra has built up any magic resist, really at all to speak of, besides Merc Treads from the Galio. So I think that if we have a nice fight for Pandemonium, he could actually be a very important factor in that, because the Kai'Sa could actually just get shredded. So I want to see him get aggressive in these fights. I want to see Pandemonium use that, because I think they might take Lyra by surprise.
And Pandemonium may need to do something here because Mola is starting to provide a split push threat. They're going in on Growlwall, but nice defensive shield of Durand from Killcore. SRG Lyra just keeping up the presence in the mid lane.
Interesting that Pandemonium backed away from the Infernal Drake, that given that I know Shen isn't there, he does have the ultimate, but you can see that coming. So I'm surprised they gave up control of Infernal, given that it's going to be pretty important for them. moving into this late game to keep their champions like Lucian relevant. But SRG Lyra are just start it up, or maybe they're just going to bait it. They're pulling it out of the pit, and I think they want Pandemonium to come in here since they know that Jax has gone to fight Shen.
Yeah, that's the info they needed. Teleports are active. Well, that's going to be an engage. Red team slaying the dragon, 2 Infernal Drakes for Lyra. 1v1 breaking out between Jax and Shen as SRG try and rush towards the mid lane. Shen is in danger. Here comes the Galio to back him up. And that's going to be in a spot of bother. Pincer on the back as well. Bumblebee looking for engage, and Artie looking to run down Mola. PND take out the enemy top laner, but what does it cost? Lodberg uses Killer Instinct to go in, trying to take out Edgar, trying to take out Mexia, and Kreiner just not able to lock down onto his opponent. 1-0 for Pandemonium.
Very disjointed fight there. Muller getting engaged on by the Jax, and Galio Killcore engaging with the ultimate, following in to back him up, but he was so far ahead of his own team that Pandemonium's blue team were actually in between those two members and the rest of Lyra, so they were forced to run away anyway, and it allowed Edgar to pick up that one kill on Muller before the rest of Lyra could actually converge, and so it looked like they were going to win the fight, Lyra, if they managed to stick around, but PND identified that, and they walked away and took themselves that free kill. They also got the tower in mid lane, so they gave up the dragon, got a kill and a tower in response, so it's not the worst. The scaling Infernal Drakes for Lyra are going to be very scary on this Kai'Sa, though, going into the late game. Looks like Pandemonium just decided to give up the dragon and choose to take the objective instead. It's an interesting decision from them, but I'm not sure how it's going to work out unless they can start getting more of these one fights very soon.
Yeah, Lyra looking more and more scary with their composition. The bright side for Pandemonium is take out Lodberg's Kai'Sa and you're good. The problem is Kai'Sa's getting more and more damage. She's 2-0. She has very formidable farm, and she's now going to get the Zeke convergence. Meanwhile, Lyra going onto the Baron. They're knocking it down. It's not even aided with a Mountain Drake. That's going to be a take. It's completely uncontested. No wards in the pit from Pandemonium. And Lyra looking to back out. The timing might be critical here, but Olaf going to get out with the rest of them.
Great decisive call by Lyra there. They've always, for the last 5-10 minutes, had the better vision around the Baron pit. Thinking about it, they had it in the back of their minds, and they just saw, all right, they've recalled, they've reset, we can just rush it down. We've got double Infernals, we've got the Kai'Sa damage. Galio and Olaf both very good with the resets, or at least Olaf with the axe resets, and Galio has a lot of damage items built in, and they just melted that before Pandemonium even realized what was going on. So when it comes to Pandemonium looking for fights to win, they're just going to have to sit and let the minions push into the towers at this point unless they can get around them. But Jax not being able to shove up so hard, meeting those Baron minions, is going to be very important for them staying alive and to get even further into this late game, despite the minor gold deficit.
Indeed, and when we talked in the pre-game about Pandemonium needing to snowball and make picks rather than teamfight, the presence of Baron on SRG Lyra makes it so difficult for them to do that, because they're forced into a defensive funnel. It plays right into the hands of Shen and Galio for Muller and Killcore to just push the side lanes in 1-3-1 fashion, as they are now demonstrably doing. Teleport advantage, 2-1. It's just all the cards stacking up for Lyra at the moment, and Lodberg is the key to take them down. But Lodberg is well protected. Hummer going for a bit of solo kill fighting, goes straight in, uses the Empower, knocks down Mola, and it's going to be the last bit of health. It's going to be a solo kill, and Hummer is going to be 4-2. On the other side of the map, Bumblebee is going to dive behind the tower. He's 0-1, and that's going to be a big shutdown coming in for Killcore, who's going to keep pushing top lane. The danger of the Baron. Pandemonium need to do something. They need to divert resources top or go in on Lyra mid lane. As it stands, they are going to continue to lose resources. Killcore going in topside, and that looks to be the end of the push for him.
It is so unfortunate for Pandemonium. They just managed to defuse that Shen pressure bot lane with knowing getting that Essence Reaver, so his ultimate makes him pretty much unbeatable in that 1v1 despite the Thorn Mail and armor items from Shen. Then instantly they lose the Vlad pivotally to the Galio, and now they're just getting their inhib knocked on despite winning that initial trade, and they're going to end up losing this mid lane too. That's so bad.
Yeah, Killcore is the 1v1 champion. He's knocked Vladimir out the way, and now he knocks Jax out the way, returning to mid lane to get out of the way of a gank. Fantastic alternative use of the hero's entrance
Galio
there.
Just dips right out of there after getting, doesn't quite get the inhib, so it's not perfect, but saving his life, keeping the Baron buff and the blue buff, and any gold that he had there, definitely worth the use of that ultimate. He doesn't now need to use it particularly much in fights because they have this Baron meaning that there's not going to be that much pressure going in. And if he's taking fights against the Vlad top lane and 1v1ing him under his own tower, I would personally be pretty happy to just let him get on with it.
And yeah, so many cards in the deck falling for Lyra. They're going for the 5th Drake of the game at 29 minutes. It's going to be the Mountain Drake. And with the Mountain Drake, it's going to give them an even faster Baron next time. Jax is nearby. Hummer might have a difficult time getting out of this one. Killer Instinct is available. Shen Taunt with the flash is available. Predator coming in. Kryna closing.
Ooh.
Alistair not quite getting the engage, but it's not necessarily over for Hummer.
Yikes.
Flash coming in. And Muller might have bitten off more than he can chew here with the team of Pandemonium coming in. It's a fight waiting to happen as both teams back up their top laners. Mola forced to flash away this time. Cullen coming in. Kryna the focus. Pandemonium coming in. And might have to back away from the teleport here. Total tennis match going on in the bot lane. Grathwall and Killcore leading the charge for SRG Lyra as they don't have a split push. They're just looking to siege the second tower.
Such a timely teleport from Killcore. He's got the Rabadons completed as well. I think that RT really wanted to go in. You could see him edging back and forward, looking for that ultimate. He had the Predator on the E, but he just couldn't bring himself to do it. And I think it was the right idea because he goes in and P&D commits right into that charged W of the Gallia. That was going to be a multi-man W, and that was going to be an absolutely destructive win for the side of Lyra there. So I think they had to make the right decision to pull back. It's a massive feels bad man for them after Hummer clearly wants to fight and use his strength. He's got 1,000 gold bounty. He's got items, he's got power, but he can't do it himself. He's got too many threats to work with on the side of Lyra, and it's really just, it's been very patiently played by Lyra, and P&D aren't throwing this one away. They can identify when they're going to lose the fight, but it doesn't really give them any extra chance to win. It just means they lose a little slower.
And yeah, for Jax, it's fairly easy to be a carry if you're a safe artillery mage. It's difficult to be a melee bruiser carry, and Hummer is having to contrast having to push up and split push with trying to get away from 4 people at once. So once again, he's starting well, he's generating split push threats, a little less warded this time, but most of the Lyra team are on the map from the viewpoint of Pandemonium. So he's going to get a good wave in and may look back to help his team. The next point of contestation will be the Baron coming up in 40 seconds. So it will be Pandemonium that are going to be keen not to let a second stealth Baron slip them by.
Really, I would like to see Hummer get a bit more aggressive here. As we see him going in, I want him to push this harder. He needs to have more impact in this side lane. Looks like he's trying to
just as if on request, he's going in with the Empower, diving under the tower, and he's going to show us all his power. Last turret shot, the dodge not going to help him, and that's going to be a 1-for-1. Rest in peace, both top laners. F in chat.
That's actually gone wholly worse than if he'd not done it at all, unfortunately.
Oh, and Artie's engaging here, instantly blown up by the CC. Lodberg coming as well. Bumblebee going to target the AD carry. Will he be able to take him down? Not quite. Edgar following in and finishes the kill here. Chaotic melee range fight as Kryna is the next focus. So far, most of the players on both sides taken down. Looks like it might be an ace coming in here for Pandemonium, benefiting from their team name. And they have one tanky cow to take down, and it's going to be the final bell for the Moo Cow.
Such a good start to that fight from Lyra with Killcore helping Hecarim, as you say, but then Edgar, he's kind of been flying under the radar since the laning phase, but he is 7, 1, and 2 right now. They're coming up on 300 CS, and he was definitely the turning point in that fight, putting out so much damage with the ultimate, finishing off Killcore, and then finishing off Kaising expertly around the Olaf and the Alistair. And it looks like Pandemonium are going to complete this one with the TP coming in, unless Shen can pull some miracles.
And he might well try it. 1k health left, but it's going to be a close down from Pandemonium. Mola is going to take the blast cone over the wall. Hummer has a potential to overchase. It's not going to happen. And Pandemonium retreat with the second Baron of the game, which will be a great relief to them considering what's happened so far.
It's crazy to think that it's actually almost a 5k gold lead on the side of Pandemonium, even though it feels like they've been on the back foot. And they've almost lost that top inhibitor. They've been being shoved in, they haven't been able to take dragons, and yet they're still far ahead. They're 3 towers down with that much of a gold lead and 4 kills. That shows you how much the farm advantage is going in their favor, and I think they are going to get to that point where Vlad is going to become relevant and Jax is going to become unstoppable. The Lucian definitely making himself important going into this late game. He is going to hit a cap at some point, but for now, he is not going to go quietly into this lane.
And yeah, SRG, they've just been so clean at moving into positions, zoning control, and just going into objectives. It's worth saying that this is a 6-dragon game, if indeed this next Ocean Drake is to be taken, which shows the priority that both teams are putting in on contesting that Dragon Pit. SRG, for the last 10 minutes, we've expected them to have a monopoly on a zone, but now with Hummer and Edgar putting lots of individual damage down and reaching the final points of the build here. Indeed, we might. Hummer and Kilcore trading off in the bot lane. Similarly, Bumblebee going into split push mode topside. Pandemonium are on the offensive here across the map with the Baron. They're going in, and Kilcore is getting jumped on. Similarly, Pandemonium attacking in the mid lane. Here comes the counter engage from Kreiner. Mola's ult is coming in, and that's going to be a taunt onto Mexia. Jumps into the Spirit's Refuge and jumps out the other side. Lodberg looking for kills, hungry for the damage, uses Killer Instinct here. QW from Grathwall sets up the second one for Lodberg. That's a 5-1 Kaiser, and PMD have to quickly recover from the side lane push.
Grathwall redeemed himself from that missed flash combo earlier, and Hummer's going to catch just kill him off, and that's going to be such a big problem for Lyra, because now Jax is up there, he's up that tower, he's got a wave coming in, and can't really let him just do that. And now PMD says, no, we're going to stop these recalls. We need to let this Jax do his job.
Yeah, Artie in a tricky position, though. Grathwall forcing the ult out of him. But here comes Bumblebee coming in with the Hemo play, forcing the stopwatch out of Lodberg. And that is going to be a final tick. Artie following up. Bumblebee getting a double kill. Jax did not recall at all, by the way. Hummer continued split pushing. May take an inhib here and move straight onto Mola with the continued Baron buff. This is heavy threat from Pandemonium. Kreiner is on such low health. He can't get back and fight here. Hummer has at least 15 more seconds to threaten this Shen.
Bumblebee finally wakes up and has an impact there. Flashes Protobelts in and gets the ultimate on Lodberg, who crucially uses his stopwatch too early, comes out of it before the Vlad ultimate has actually expired, which means it still pops and kills him, plus keeps him in the same place so he can't even get away. And it's so close. These fights are so tight. It's important that the Jax didn't recall there, as he said, means he gets that pressure, and that his team managed to actually turn around and win that after Artie looked like he maybe overstayed. Lucian coming out of base to push Lyra back off, get kills too, and they end up with the inhib. I believe they still have Baron. Do they still have the Baron buff? It might almost have just run out, but the pressure wave is definitely behind Pandemonium here. They are going to be shoving in. They now have the inhib down. They've got the supers to work with. There's no objectives on the map to foul up any kind of bad trades or plays, and they're just going to look to shove it.
Yeah, looks to be the case at 36 minutes. We said, will Pandemonium do the Pandemonium? We hope it doesn't get called that if it's a late game loss. But with 3 dragons apiece at 36 minutes, it's a very unpredictable game to reflect what the community thought. Hummer might be in danger of being caught out here. He's going to be able to escape from the enemy jungle here.
They're very afraid of him there. Sees him in the jungle. Nope, I am not touching that one, my dude. Walks away and retreat back to their towers. So now Pandemonium can almost get their waves into the base. They're taking it nice and slow, which I like, not overcommitting into the side of Lyra, who still have a lot of damage to push out. We saw the initial part of that long extended fight running down the mid lane, with Lyra chasing down Pandemonium after they overstayed when they had the Baron buff. And they actually managed to get in the kills with that Kaiser, with the flash WQ combo from Grathwall and the Alistair. So there's definitely no one to be slept on here from the side of Lyra, and Pandemonium are clearly aware of that.
Yeah, you get the feeling that whichever side of the map the two teams collide, it's going to be chaotic and unpredictable. We haven't had a clean ace so far. We've had an ace, but it was very scrappy from the side of Pandemonium, so anything could happen, and it's mainly down to execution at this point. The setup is certainly working well with Pandemonium, sending 4 down the mid lane, using the automatically pushing siege minions in bot lane to facilitate the pressure.
Yeah, when it comes to wave clear, Lyra don't have that much to offer. They've got Olaf axes, then Kaiser's not that good for it, and she has to hold up the bot lane, so it looks like the Pandemonium will be able to actually hit this tower. Grathwall's going in with
and here comes the engage. Galio all comes in. Lucian at the back with the calling, but the players in front of him will be evaporating one by one. Artie is down. Bumblebee is down. Mexia running back to Edgar and just trying to get him out. Hummer is going for the split push. That's all that Pandemonium can do at the moment. Kreiner has the Predator and could try and engage, but Hummer, the focus is on him now for Pandemonium. He flashes in. He's looking for Kilcore. Here comes the Mola ult, and it doesn't look like the 1v1 is going to happen this time. Mola may try and collapse here, looking for the Empower, and gets one. That's fantastic, and that's a massive distraction. It's exactly what Pandemonium needed. He may fall now against Mola, and a big shutdown comes out for the Shen.
Man, this Jax is absorbing so much time and energy from Lyra. They get such a good fight there. They get up that block, steps too far up, gets Galio ulted as well, and just gets completely wiped out of the fight. That means the Pandemonium have to just run straight back, but then the Jax is bashing on that top lane the whole time, gets the tower, and 1v1's first kill for as well, because he's literally just unbeatable in that 1v1 right now. And SRG are forced to pull back. They don't manage to get a Baron pivotally off that, which is now live. There's no vision on it, but that would have been the perfect opportunity for them to secure something like that can keep them in this game, because the pressure is still against them.
Yeah, it's so brilliant to consider we're at this late game point. Pressure has gone back and forth several times, and Pandemonium, with their carries and damage across the board, are finally in some sort of ascendancy against the tanky composition of Lyra. The third Baron is on the table, and while there was definite supremacy for the first two, both teams can sort of eye the Baron area and not be sure of the other team's intentions. There is inhibitor advantage still for Pandemonium. They're looking to pressure the Baron with the last bit of that, because it will allow them to pressure a kill opportunity.
This is important here. There's no red wards, I should say, for blue team Pandemonium here in the actual Baron pit direct area itself, because a lot of their members reaching full build or maybe half an item away mean they don't have any more slots for red wards, and Brom does not have any in his inventory, whereas the side of SRG Lyra, they still have red wards on both the Shen and their Alistar, and they have spaces in other inventories to pick this up. So they have a big advantage when it comes to clearing out vision for something like Baron and for Elder Dragon, which is coming up in 30 seconds. So it's going to be Pandemonium are the ones going in blind most of this time. That's why they were looking for a bit of a death rush near Baron, I think, because they don't really have the vision to play it that way. It looks like they're committing to Baron here.
Oh, and there it is. There's the ping coming out, and Pandemonium are right to do this because all of the Lyra members are down in the bot side looking for the Elder Dragon. This looks to be a straight one-for-one objective trade. Hummer going to recall his way out of there. And can Pandemonium get to the Elder Dragon before it's taken? I feel this could be critical. The Elder Dragon is operating though. It's going to be getting get, but here comes the engage. Artie going in, and that's ways to back out. Grefwall coming in, Galio coming in, and Pandemonium have escaped the initial engage from Lyra. Can they turn around? Can they kite backwards? Edgar doing consistent damage, concussive blows coming in, and Lyra haven't found anything thus far. But Cullen coming in, fantastic damage. Artie finally getting taken, and here's the damage onto Edgar. Lodberg coming in with the killer instinct. Gets a Void Seeker, but not able to go further. Bumblebee looking for the damage and takes down Galio with a Crimson Rush empowered Q. He's in the middle of 3 now. Hops the Zhonya's Hourglass. Looks for something on Lodberg here. It's going to be big. Comes in, hops up his mid laner, and it's going to be brilliant damage. Hummer is finishing the game as we speak, taking down the Nexus. And at 42 minutes, Hummer split pushes the entire game, finishes the team of SRG Lyra, and reverses the Pandemonium losing streak.
What just happened? I just need to take a second from that. I wasn't even play-by-playing it, and I'm out of breath. Like, that was just an insane chain of events there. So, okay, let's break it down here. So we've got the Baron trade for the Elder Dragon from Pandemonium. They took a similar kind of scenario before, where they took the Baron and they tried to push up with it, but Lyra were able to find the fight. And that's what pushed off the Baron push. And with Elder Dragon, that would be even more beneficial for Lyra. So it might not have been the best decision for them in the first place. They get the Baron, Hummer recalls, and then they decide to commit to fight Lyra after they've got the Dragon. And then they quickly realize, okay, we made a bad mistake here. They try and run away, but the Olaf super speed coming in there like Flash, just they can't get away from him. Even after whiffing Galio on the early missed Alistar engage, SRG Lyra are still able to chase them down, and then they just have that Elder Dragon shoving it through. That means that it looks like they're going to win that fight, and they're doing so well. And the Kaiser's doing so much damage, he gets the ult off with the shield, Edgar's got to run away, he can't do anything more, but Bumblebee doesn't die. Very notably, for the first time here, Bumblebee doesn't die, and he stays alive on 0 health, gets that huge Vladimir heal up, and then manages to take out the Kaiser, while Hummer just midway through decides, peace, I'm done with this is stupid, this fight is lame, I'm going to go straight into their base, and just ends the game, and the Alistar can't do anything about it.
Man. It's absolutely that sort of awareness, which is great for a top laner to have. It's what you want to do with your teleport. And while we knew Pandemonium had the split push threat through bot lane and had the Baron threat, that all of the focus was on the mid lane between Bumblebee and between the two AD carries of Edgar and Lodberg. For Hummer to abandon that and go for the base, it shows a lot of awareness and it shows a lot of knowledge about his team's limits, chances, and his own confidence in going for the end there. So Pandemonium, you've turned around your fortunes.
It's not the Pandemonium anymore. It's not the Pandemonium.
Yeah, maybe the Pandemonium can now be an insane late game comeback if you can do it a few times.
Let's see if I can pull that off some more. Okay, so I think we've spoken about him a lot this game. At least I know I have been singing his praises a lot. So I think that for me, when it comes down to an MVP discussion, it's got to be Hummer. There's no question in my mind. He was doing so well in that top lane, shoving off. He got that early kill on the Muller aggression. He was so good at taking objectives for his team, and right at the air, at that last fight, he had the knowledge, he had the balls to make that call and go for the win, and that potentially could have won them the whole game there. I think that Pandemonium had won the fight by the end, but even if they hadn't, which it came very close to being the case, Hummer would have still won the game for them. So I think it's got to be him for me.
Yeah, same for me. Edgar got a great scoreline, played very well within his limits, but mostly reactively. Artie and Bumblebee again played mechanically well on their champions and did sufficient damage, but the real star power is Hummer's. It's obviously more difficult to split push than to play defensively. It's very difficult to split push, then appropriately use your teleport. Combining that with good warding, and of course the cherry on the cake of the final play where he went to split push the entire Nexus. Yeah, he's my MVP as well. So fantastically played from Pandemonium, fantastically played from Hummer, and SRG. We can really see their synergy as a team, and we can really see how they're working together. It's just unfortunate they didn't get that one.
Yeah, there were certainly so many good points from SRG here. I think Killcore actually did really well on the Galio for most of this game. His scoreline doesn't look that good, but I felt like he had a massive impact, even if it's just a presence that scared off PND from taking what could have been a good fight for them. And then the bot lane, they did have a bit of a rough time. Grasswall especially had a rough time in the lane, just about dying to Edgar and Mexi's Brom to give them a bit of an advantage, but Lodberg kept his head very well. He still played very well in that last fight. I think he stayed alive for a long time, dished out a lot of damage. You could see him making plays when the window was there, but it just wasn't quite enough to get through the clutch team fighting in the end for Team Pandemonium.
And of course, the team fighting going over to the Nexus Steel.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was game 2 of tonight's schedule for Equinox Week 2 stream. It was just against the predictions. 7 of 15 predicted that win from Pandemonium. So congrats to them for them to go slightly against the record. We're going to move to a short break in a moment. And after the break, we've got your man CJ returning for another game with Big Brain Byron Villa. And they're going to be bringing you one of the most anticipated clashes. Not only is it 2 former MD2 organization teams in IGNI and Venoshock who've contended several times over the last few months in scrims and official games alike, they are also 2 teams that boast a 3-0 record, having won their first games in today's play. So they'll be putting their undefeated records on the line, and only one of the teams will be going 4-0 by the end of the day. CJ, are you looking forward to that one?
I gotta tell you, dude, I cannot wait. We just had a game that hype from Pandemonium and SRG Lyra, and this marquee matchup coming up with Venoshock and IGNI, I'm hoping for another blowout like that. That was absolutely insane. I'm looking forward to it.
Fantastic. Well, CJ, I'll leave the casting extraordinaire, as the stream would say, to you, and I'm going to bow out for now. Thank you for everyone who has been playing or watching. And please tune in for the 3rd game. Don't touch that browser. Catch you soon.
Cheers, guys. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Equinox Amateur League Week 2. We are in for the final game of the day 3, featuring IGNI versus Venoshock. My name is CJ, and casting with me today, we have back on the virtual desk, Byron Villa. How are you doing, my friend?
I am doing very, very well. That last game went very long. Though I remember I kind of tuned out for a bit, came back. Both ADCs had 6-2, 7-2. The last fight wasn't even decided by them. That Vladimir popped off at the end of that fight.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I'm still just from color casting it. I don't know how Kraden is even. I don't know how he didn't pass out, because that was some crazy stuff going on there. And just even from just teams from SRG Lyra and Pandemonium, maybe not quite as well known as the ones we have coming up for you guys now. IGNI versus Venoshock. Kraden talked about it before the break. This is the marquee matchup of the day. Probably the most hyped matchup of the league so far.
Yeah, both teams are 3-0-2, so there's extra stakes on this match. The winner of this tops the league. I think they might have some ties for first, but they are confirmed first in the league. And considering the caliber of opponents you guys have played against, I think it's going to be the case of whoever wins this match is going to be considered one of, if not the best team in the league so far. This isn't just a match to get yourself an extra win. It's a match that's going to decide rankings even down to week 9 in the playoffs race. These kind of matches are incredibly important for both these teams.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true what you said there, that the winner of this will probably be considered the strongest team in the league right now, at least at this early stage. Both teams are very well known in this community and others like it. So I think the players know each other very well. It's going to be interesting seeing how the fallout of this game unrolls on the community. I'm definitely for some trash talk threads. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and both teams have some great players. Cream Soda, he's a solid top laner. Sui Kaijire, I remember watching him in the Cataclysm Versus tournament, and he played a heck of a tournament then, at least in the playoffs. He played incredibly well. And on the other side, Demo, he's known for his Galio. He loves a good bit of that.
Loves it. Loves a good bit of Galio. We saw the Galio last being used to pretty good effect by Kill Koros. He didn't pick up the win, but I think he demonstrated a lot of the power of the champion there, going full damage, turning around a lot of fights, exerting a lot of pressure on the game. So I would definitely like to see resident Galio aficionado Demo pull that one out again, assuming that IGNI allow it to get through bans into his hands.
Yeah, and I don't know if you're around for the first game, but those kind of special power picks that some people have are very important to take away. The first game, Pike Hex, a famed Kled player, got his hands on that Kled, and he went, I believe, 21-7. You don't want that happening again, or like a repeat of something like that. So if I was on the side of IGNI right now, first thing I would do, instant ban that Galio, because it's Demo's comfort pick. Just get rid of it. No need to deal with it. Either that, or if you have some sort of plan to counter the Galio, you can use that too. But you've got those two options. Otherwise, you can't just disrespect it and think, oh, we'll be fine.
It's definitely a risky play letting that one through. I think it's so scary in leagues like this when comfort picks can often be more impactful than meta ones. When your comfort pick is literally top S tier mid laner on the patch, you've got to just take that away. Kled, at least you can maybe say it's not top tier. It's not quite kind of in the meta as much. You don't see it so much. Maybe it's got its flaws, and we saw how Pike performed on that one. So I think you're definitely right. Galio should probably be taken off the table here. If it's not, I am excited to see it. I love watching me some Galio players. I will be a little bit missing ping at IGNI if they let it through. And taking I'm going to give you your strong champion and then pick a counter to it, definitely a power play, but one that can backfire you so badly.
Very true, very true. It's all about the respect here. But these two teams, because of the rivalry, I mean, I don't know if they'll be a bit disrespecting this draft anyways. They very much could either think, okay, they're a very solid team, we're going to respect the fact that they're good and pick a competition that we're very comfortable with. Or if they're feeling a bit spicy, they can say, okay, these guys are rubbish, let's try and flex what we have here. Yeah. And the thing is that it's a high risk, high reward strategy.
Yeah,
but they've got to be careful not to fall into it, because if you fall into the style game a little bit too much, let's say you throw a few Lee Sins around because you want to style on them, which isn't necessarily a bad pick. In fact, I'd say both of these junglers, as far as I know, play it pretty well.
So
I could see it being picked this game. It's a case of, do you go deep? Do you try and get that star kill, get the highlight montage going, or Are they going to play a good, solid, restricted, but calm game of League of Legends? Or will it be an absolute bloodbath? I'm hoping for a bloodbath.
I mean, Venoshock's jungler is literally called egotistical. I'm excited to see like if you can bring that attitude into the game in front of us today. I think that Aatrox is also going to be quite a hotly contested pick between these two teams. We know that Cream Soda has a pretty mean Aatrox under that bonnet, and we've seen Venoshock pull it out twice, I believe, last week as well. I think it was top and mid, if I remember correctly. I think they definitely played at both games. So we're going to see that one potentially picked early on, just as a very strong meta top laner to bring in, as you say, like another comfort pick that is happens to be very strong right now. So I'm interested to see if that one makes it in.
Yeah, I believe we're going to be heading into the Champ Select any time now. Here we go.
Here we go, boys. Let's see.
Yeah, it's the final match of the week. Arguably the match of the week. If we've been rivals format, it would be.
I would say it's match of the tournament so far, going into just 2 weeks in.
The bands get started. Egotistical. Nolan is Sejuani, not going to be able to tank up and make some hard ganks going, unfortunately. He's going to get that took away from him.
Sejuani is such a strong champion in general right now. Such very nice for her coming into 9.1. Not surprised without taken. And it's going to be the Lucian taken away from the Mig Refugee inside of Venoshock.
Yeah, Lucian, a huge power pick for, I would say, both teams, but
yeah,
he's just an incredibly strong ADC right now. If you don't take him away, then the blue side person's going to pick it. They're on red side, so it's a case of banning Lucian. Otherwise, it gets first picks, and that bot lane is going to have to be like an Ezreal Morgana, or they're going to get pretty smashed. Oh, that's at least in them.
There it is. So we're not going to see those flashy plays out from Sway Kadera, but we have still plenty of options for him, plenty of scrappy take. We've got Kha'Zix's, Rengars, Camille's, there's plenty of options still on the table. I think that we're probably likely to see the Aatrox being prioritized.
Oh, why is the Galio ban?
This is a risky pick taken. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one. There's the Galio ban from Demo. So some big mind game bans being pulled out here, I think. They're trying to psych each other out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if they let it through, the enemy team picks Galio, and then Demo, like, with his kind of style, I think he prefers to play things that can, like, roam more than anything. If you try and roam and then it's a Galio, it's going to be hard to do.
I think that the level of chess they're playing in this pick ban is at least 4 or 5 dimensions deep at this stage. Because we see the Cream Soda, big Aatrox player, bans his own Aatrox, and then we have Demo, big Galio player, bans his own Galio, and then Cream Soda was hovering the Aurelia there. Looks like he might have been for a similar kind of lane dominant pick, but then just falls back to Lissandra, a more solid mid lane pick. Pretty good matchups, pretty good impact across the map, but it's quite a safe one to pick up here.
Yeah, and the thing is, against Demo, if you're playing Lissandra and you get a little bit of lane priority, you get a push, which is going to be hard versus a Swain, and she's just been picked, but if you are able to get that going, then you can very easily roam, and with Lissandra, with all her CC, she gets a roam off. Like, it's very, very scary. Yeah,
definitely quite easy to put the gank together there with the E, W, R combos there, and it looks like it might be the Kai'Sa bounce. We've seen Bounce play Kai'Sa several times so far, I believe. Definitely very competent on that champion. Saw Kai'Sa have a very good impact last game, though once again it didn't pick up the win. I feel like I'm saying that a lot today. And it's going to be the Kha'Zix for Sway Kadere. That is, I believe he played it twice. He's sticking with the old faithful in at least EQ.
Yeah, Kha'Zix has shown up very strong, been a very, very scary pick in these pick and bans, and he can just pop out of nowhere and kill someone like a Kai'Sa. The Jhin coming out too, though, he is quite immobile, so he has to be kind of wary if he gets engaged upon. However, with Kai'Sa and Swain, they don't really have any huge hard CC right now, but if Swain's able to combo with someone who does have that instant hard CC, he can pull you back, use his never move, and it becomes very, very hard for someone like Refugee or the Jhin to really do a lot. However, he is going to have lane priority because Jhin is known as a very good laner. And against Kai'Sa, you are going to be able to bully.
That's true. And we've seen Jhin played by this team twice already. So it seems like IGNI's strategy tends to be going towards picking champions they've already won with. They want to pick comfort. They want to pick people they know they can perform well on going into this important matchup. Whereas maybe Venoshock pushing the boat out a little bit further, maybe with the Swain pick, Galio bans, locks in that Camille for jungle for the last pick. Quite a staple in jungle. We've seen a lot of Camille so far. Not surprised to see that one pick up, especially against something like Jhin. The Camille can be very effective at singling the Jhin out and interrupting him and not letting him get that down late game. So I think that's quite a good pick from Venoshock.
Yeah, certainly is. Kusoda is going to follow with Lulu, man. They were hovering at the start of the draft, but decided to opt away from it, and now it is going to get taken away from them.
Yeah, the Thresh off from the side of Venoshock. Support rounds come ready. Perhaps Venoshock were just hovering the Lulu, trying to bait that one out. Maybe the more epic mind games at work here. We'll see what their final ban comes in to lock out and get us into the second pick phase. It's going to be the Aurelia. So once again, something else that was hovered by Cream Soda earlier, and they do have the top laner still to pick. So that's two very strong meta top laners taken away, and a cannon ban to round it out. So maybe less conventional one there.
Yeah, indeed. And the Alistair being locked in, very strong support pickup, is going to be able to get on action fairly easily thanks to his WQ combo. And so this is where things get a little bit scary for Refugee. But once again, Kai'Sa Alistair, they don't have a lot of range in that lane. Jhin, on the other hand, he can auto, especially if he has a Morgana by his side. Like, you can get hit by a lot of fourth shots in that lane if Bounce is not careful.
Yeah, I think that would be a strong... Oh, could it be the Bard? Nope, we are going to see them all. Okay, so I think that is the good pickup. The Jhin Morgana is kind of a classic combination. You say they can outrange the Kai'Sa Braum, the Morgana Black Shield, very useful to keep that Jhin safe if he steps out of position. And I think this is very strong for the side of IGNI. I think they've done very well here on this bot lane pick, and I expect to see them pushing that advantage early on.
Yeah, anticipating the last pick now, though. Winning bot lane, I would say a fairly even mid, depending on what happens. Swain is very good into Lysandra, however. But Sign is going to be locked in as the final pick. That top lane is not going to be that exciting, unfortunately, unless there is some sort of big aggressive pick picked up. The thing is, though, with Cream Soda on the Scion, it means that, let's say there's a play going on mid lane, he can just hold down there mid. Let's say he's just about to walk, he's just backed, and he starts seeing a fight start mid. He can go on out there. Is it happening? But he can do that. There's so many things you can do with Scion with that engagement with the tankiness. However, Ornn also is very good with the engage. It's going to be a tank on tank in the top lane. That's the real excitement we came for.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the Ornn picked up as jungle top, actually. I think it is here, because as I was just going to say, Ornn was changed. Oh, they swapped and baited me. Okay, sure, that's fine. So the Ornn was changed on 9.1, and some people have said that it was skewed more towards being a jungler. Some people say that it's just nerfed in the top lane. Some people say maybe better as a support. And there was a lot of confusion as to where Ornn belongs now with the quite significant changes that have been made to Ornn in this patch. But he is going to go back into that top lane, go into that kind of the matchups that he knows better, probably definitely more used to playing Ornn in the top lane against the Scion. And given that Cream Soda has played Scion to great success in EQ already, I think that's probably a reasonable thing for him to do here.
Yeah, and these matchups that I'm looking at, there are two big explosive ones and two very calm ones. We have Scion Ornn, that's very calm in the top lane. Mid lane, Lysandra Swain, whilst Lysandra can be aggressive in the lane, she hasn't taken Ignite, she's ulted for the teleport. I think they're going to be more looking for roams and farming up than actually going on each other.
Yeah, the claims on Swain too.
Yeah. And the two big matchups that are going to be swinging this game, we have Sui Kejire under Kha'Zix, Egotistical under Camille. That's a big matchup in the jungle. And then in the bot lane, Jhin Morgana versus Kai'Sa Alistair. And both sides, I feel like, well, in the bot lane, it's just an incredibly strong lane. If Sui Kejire can go down there and punish Bounce and retire mid, try and use that bot lane as a leverage and snowball it, I think they can do very well. However, Egotistical has a fantastic gank presence on the Camille. Like with the hook shot, with her Hex-like ultimatum, there are so many things there's so many ways that Camille can get into a gank, almost a little bit like a Zac in that way. Where I think Refugee and Time to Shine need to be at least a little bit aware that whilst they can exert their advantage over Bounce and retired mid in the bot lane, there's only so much they can push until they're going to get punished by a gank. They've got to be careful for themselves, and it's all about having that discipline. They've got to push their advantage, but only to a certain point. If they can do that, then they're going to be flying high, doing very well on that bot side. But if they overextend, they could be getting punished, and that could be where we see the game swing.
Yeah, looking at the way the team comps match up here, the side of IGNI definitely lacks some tankiness. Cream Soda's Scion, while obviously an incredibly fat tanky wall, is very good at being that presence. He's kind of the only option there. As direct peel, Morgana's Black Shield is kind of there, but she has no actual physical presence as the champion. The bindings are most likely going to be used to go for picks, unlikely to be used as a defensive option most of the time. And Lissandra's probably going to be more concerned with keeping herself alive and delaying the enemy teams to be peeling off with this Jhin. So I'm worried about the Jhin just getting overwhelmed by your Ornn ults, your Camille ults, your Alistar combos, while the Swain can kind of sit in the middle of the fight and absorb a lot of pressure. So I think that the onus is more on Mig Refugee to position very well the later stage of this fight. If that, assuming the game goes to that point where it's fairly even and we're looking at team fight wins, I think that Venoshock has more tools to do that. They have more innate tankiness and better peel for their character Kai'Sa. Obviously, the ultimate with the shield for Kai'Sa, an innately strong tool for keeping yourself alive as well as being an engage follow-up. So I think it's going to rely slightly more on IGNI getting ahead early to secure an advantage here. And I think that Venoshock will always have a way back into this game with the tools they've given themselves for team fights here.
Yeah, we're gonna start loading in now. We'll see who wins the skin war. That will be, of course, what decides the game as per usual. But I'm looking forward to this game because it is going to be a game that I don't feel like it's going to be decided straight in the early game, because there are so many like swing points. But I say so many. There's like 2 big swing points, but yet there's 2 points that are going to stay stable and going to likely stay even. If the first points stay even if one swings one way, sure, you can get a good stumble going, but it isn't going to be the end of the game. There's going to be other points that are going to be on a decent level.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a game that's decided in team fights. Can the Ornn ult really make a lot of things happen? Can the Swain last long enough in a team fight to really output that damage? Can the Sandra lock down the right targets? Can Scion get a really good ultimate? There's so many different factors that come into these fights from these players who are just going to be looking for those team fights to start farming up in the lanes, making sure they're stable, making sure they're ready for those big moments.
Yeah, and as we get onto the Rift here, looking at runes very quickly, we've seen that Jhin has instantly taken the fleet footwork. I maybe would have liked to see something slightly more offensive when they have this matchup, which I think they have a lot of capacity to win hard and to shove in with. But I still obviously take fleet footwork to just kind of keep yourself sustained. If you know you're going to win the lane, you can shove that, maybe stay in lane even longer. And we'll see if there's going to be any interesting ward patterns here. It looks like we're spreading out to cover all the entrances so far.
Yeah, looking like a very calm start to this game. I'm just going to sit around, make sure no invades actually happen. Go a few nice wards. Once they have a little bit of a calm tranquility, I never really asked you, who are you predicting to win this game?
Oh, shoot. Good point. Well, given that I've been talking up the effectiveness of Venoshock's team comp, I am going to go for Team Venoshock here. I think some people might say that's a little bit surprising. I think a lot of people will take IGNI naturally with like the massive presence that Suicune exerts in the jungle. But I am going to go for Venoshock here. I think they have the better team comp, they've got the better tools, I think they have the better scaling as well. So I think they're going to take this.
Oh, Resident Sleepers.
Ooh, that's the one. No face check. Well played by there. I mean, it's going to take a little traded back though. Nothing too exciting.
Oh, so that's another move.
Whoops.
Well, in terms of my prediction, I'm going to go IGNI, but that's because they feel like they have better strength points in the early game, and it's very hard, unless Egotistical plays incredibly well, it's going to be very hard for the side of Venoshock to really answer the early game that IGNI brings.
True.
But then again, if they are able to weather the storm, they do have a much better team fighting team, in my opinion. It's just they have to try and weather that storm, and I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, we see a lot of trading coming out from mid lane. They both want to kind of trade a lot of auto attacks to kind of very scrappy there, and bot lane as well, stepping forward to hit those 4th shots, keeping the Kai'Sa in her place, making sure that Morgana can secure that level 2 early to maybe push an advantage.
Yeah, we see Camille feeling like it's both around bot side right now. Camille did get the scope grab, but it's going to start moving a little bit away from that lane. It is looking like it's going to be a relatively calm clear for both junglers. They might need to gank top, because bear in mind, whilst they are tanks, they do have, both tanks do have very good gank setup, thanks to the fact that, you know, they are quite CC heavy, and Silent or they are surprisingly do output a lot of damage in that lane too. Just unfortunately not on each other because they're both tanky.
Yeah, true. Most of the vision has been put around bot side. You see the wards, early wards already going down. Team Crab, not that much other vision placed on the map still. Junglers are taking a pretty relaxed clear. Kha'Zix's already gone back to pick up that longsword. He wants that early damage in. A little behind in CS, but Camille is looking to come up towards this top lane. There's a ward in the river, she'll get spotted out. She does have level 3, so she's got everything at her disposal. On with that knock-in, no hookshot stun, but does have the slow. Here comes the channel. Don't think the Sun's going to be able to get out of here. That is going to be a complete on first. But has to flash away though from Silence on death. The zombie chase him out of that tower. Not going to secure anything there. It's going to be an early respawn and TP back, I imagine, but still very nice to get that golden off the ward.
I'm trying to think if Cream Soda could have used his flash there to get out. It would have been a risky one though, and I feel like the fact that he's held onto the flash actually shows really good discipline to recognize, okay, I'm caught out, I'm right in the wrong side of the lane here. Even if I flash, I might not get out, and instead of instinctually like pressing flash to try and get out, he saves it, and it's smart play. It's still unfortunate he gets took down though, and there wasn't really anything else that happened in response to that. It's just Subi's gonna get himself a Scuttle Crab, and that's about it. And so right now, you know, Egotistical gets the gank off.
The jungle now, though, he sees Camille very low health in his jungle. Out there, straight back to the brush by the inner tower for top lane, and doesn't want to get assaulted by that Kha'Zix, who was definitely looking to push the advantage with that extra item that he had. So now he's going to look to clear out the bird camp and turn ahead in CS. Here comes an engage on bot lane though. Shield not really having that much of an effect. Bot lane from blue side are able to disengage, trade back damage, so nothing significant happened. Fairly even trade here. The only difference in that lane is the farm difference, which is relatively heavily in favor of Team IGNI this early on in the game.
Yeah, I have to admit, Venoshock have done decent right now. They've got a good gank off top. Very happy with that. However, looks like someone else wants a piece of the top ganking action.
Here he comes. Sabbath knows to get away. Good decision by Sabbath there. Has the doesn't have the wave ahead, but knows he has that vision. Doesn't want to engage. Sweet Cutlery gets nothing for his time.
Oh, mid lane.
Here comes an engage by Egotistical. They might have to get him. Simply though, that is the strength of Cassandra. Can just walk away from a bad time like that. Still gets the ward down. Takes a bit of damage, but nothing too serious. Still has a potion in inventory as well, so can get that farm. Use the potion to heal up if need be. However, Swain is going to recall, so we might just see a double recall by both these players.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be Axel and Resident CT pushing it out, letting the wave trying to kind of crash into the tower as best he can, and then just back off, be happy with that. Or you know, he's going to not listen to what I'm saying. Oh no, he is going to listen to what I'm saying. There we go.
So we see the BF sword picked up by Jin there, got that 4-3S, went straight back forward to exert that power in the lane. Sabbath obviously can buy in the brush. Very far down in CS though, despite getting that first blood instantly, and down in XP, so not quite sure how that's happened. Maybe just a bit of bad wave management by Sabbath here.
Yeah, it sounds like what it could be, but looking at Egotistical, he's invading the jungle, he has spotted nothing's there, he could look for a top lane tower dive, but I don't think that's the smartest idea if this is someone as tanky as Sion.
Yeah.
Who has a lot of CC and his ultimates.
Yeah, no ults on Camille or Ornn as well, so not many tools at their disposal.
Yeah, it's...
Looks like it's just gonna back off.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll try the jungle, see if we can find anything. Right now, barely anything's up on the map for the junglers. So not moving by Sue, just, you know, back off. He's aware that nothing's really up. So he's gonna get himself a buy, and I think now, because nothing much is up other than that red buff on the bot side, I think this is where ganks may start happening. There isn't much else for them to do on the map, and so I would like to see focus, especially down on this bot side. I could see a gank really going well for both junglers.
Yeah, Summoner is still up, so it's, apart from the Ornn here, so ganks may be a little tough and not that much vision on the map right here, so I think we'll see a little bit of setup where we see gank like that, but we do have ultimates coming online now. Very important to support these ganks with extra damage and utility. Looks like bot lane not quite hitting 6. They are probably going to get it first on the side of Team IGNI. We'll see if they pressure that in. They're shoving up the tower, putting down some vision. All 4 people around this dragon. Looks like they might look to start that one up.
Well, they very much could. They are just getting vision around it right now, though. So we're getting some wards. However, I think Egotistical was just spotted out on the blue buff. That's big information for them, because it means they could go and try and make a play topside or make a big invade happen. And I think it might be the invasion option.
Looks like it can maybe getting sandwiched in here. Doesn't get the blue buff. That's so unfortunate. And the Kha'Zix comes in. Very nice binding. Pincering in perfectly. Jin doesn't quite get an assist on the W, but Egotistical gets wiped out. Very good start for the Kha'Zix there. Up in CS. Grabs the buffs. Very good use of that vision there. Placing it down and then executing it.
2, 3, 4.
Yeah, and the thing is, he gets the dragon right now, gets the kill, and that's really nice for Sui, because what that means is not only does it give him an extra bit of farm, give his whole team the I believe that's an Ocean Dragon, but also it denies Egotistical that chance to farm up a little bit more. And as a Camille, you really don't want to be stuck farming. You want to be going out and getting ganks, and the more time you spend dead, the more time you spend farming, the less time you're spending getting your laners ahead. And of course, you have got Sabo for good kill. The problem is, he hasn't really used that lead very well, so now he is still sat 100 gold behind, despite the fact he got first blood.
Yeah, I think you can see a farm lead across all lanes, and they're gonna try and maybe contest this side and clearing the ward out. The Ornn does have the ultimate. Camille's coming up as well. Ornn wants to follow this. Let's see if he picks the ult. He's probably gonna take a Scion ult in this one. Interesting flash from Sabbath. Quite confusing there when the Scion is unstoppable. Maybe just a bit of a panic button, but nothing comes of it, and that's a wasted spell for the Ornn.
I'm gonna give that a and leave it be.
Yeah, that's a yikes from me, dog. And looks like IGNI are getting now shut in the bot side. Nothing amazing happening there. They're going to clear out the vision for IGNI in this top lane. Ornn has to recall in shame, and we'll go back to a neutral position here. Something I was looking to point out earlier was that the farm difference across the board is in the favor of IGNI. So despite the fact that the first blood went over to Venoshock, they now have a pretty significant gold lead with even kills, just because the farm is so heavily in their favor, and I think that really shows the amount of dominance they're having in this laning phase.
Yeah, they are doing very well for themselves, and the problem is though, I think you're fairly happy, even if you're on Venoshock's side. If you're only sat like less than 1k go behind at 10 minutes, that's not too awful, considering the fact that you are looking to scale up a little bit more, because you have that Kai'Sa. Once the Kai'Sa comes online at 2 free items, that's when it gets quite scary for the enemy team. You want to ideally just hit that point and make sure nothing really happens. Venoshock, I think that's been quite smart, is they've kind of halted top for a little bit and tried to focus that area, give Egotistical a bit of a lead, but they've kind of left bot lanes for their own devices, and that's kind of
converging on the Kha'Zix here, contesting this crab, and Kai'Sa gets taken very low by the Kha'Zix. Has the stopwatch on. Here comes Blue Team to reconvene. Not quite finishing up the Kai'Sa with the ultimate there. Alistair very low, the ult is still on, very split up here. No one's really grouped together, and looks like everyone's going to try and walk away. Here comes a TP finally from Ornn, but it gets cancelled by the Scion, so that's going to have no help. Demo's ult comes on, giving the tankiness to walk away. Egotistical now on the wrong side of town. Kadare, after being in such a bad spot early on, gets taken down by gets the kill, by using excellent use of the stopwatch there, healing up very high, and then coming in to finish off Camille.
That's a lot of damage coming down to trying to shine.
That's a tough one. They're gonna push and get these plates down in the mid lane, but they can't step up too close now. Shine has to be very careful about this one. But there's a lot of recalls coming through as well. Interesting decision to stick around. He can't really offer that much help, I believe.
Yeah. It's looking like they're gonna try and get a few plantings down mid. They're very happy with that, but other than that, that's all the real objective advantages. However, look at the CS right now. Yeah. On the side of IGNI, all 3 laners have 100 CS or more, whereas on the other side, that there isn't anyone. I mean, Demo's about to make it, but it's that kind of, we were talking about it. The CS leads are very, very good for IGNI. And if they can kind of use that, get an extra little bit of items, I think Resident Evil is now backing to get himself a good proto belt. And now we have Stormraiser and Jin, we have Scion, who unfortunately doesn't have a full item, but he does have a lot of small components that are going to add up eventually. I feel like that's very good that hitting these first item spikes before the likes of Venoshock, and that's very, very useful for them.
Yeah, they've shown that they're able to keep it cool in these close team fights and secure small advantages, and I think if they manage to keep this one up, they're going to have a very good time going into the mid-game with champions like Morgana to get picks, and the Kha'Zix damage, who is actually excellently well, while not having too much gank presence, but in the fights he's been a part of, he's been doing a lot of work.
Yeah, indeed he has. And you can see now it's 2 times he's been caught out by Sui Hydre on the Kha'Zix. He needs to make sure it's not a third. The problem is that you don't really want to be playing reactively as Camille, so he has to find a nice balance between making plays but not getting caught out, and that's a very, very hard balance to achieve.
Yeah, he's got to find a way into a lane gap. There's ultimate, no flash, but the ultimate is such a powerful tool. Maybe bot lane would be the time to go there, trying to shine. Maybe vulnerable with the flash down. Let's have the stopwatch though, and it just seems like, as you say, Venoshock can't really make anything happen, and the gold is just going to slowly go in the favor of IGNI, unless something is done about it.
Yeah, it's looking like it. And yeah, IGNI have just played a good game so far. The thing is though, is that they've got themselves a good lead, but haven't got themselves anything huge yet. You want to see them start taking objectives. You want to see them go down, get their second dragon, get a Rift Herald. Oh, speaking of Rift Herald.
Speak of the devil, here's Suicadaray on it, and they take that one. So much turret plating going down here, a lot of value being gotten by IGNI off this turret plating change. Huge amounts of gold going into their pockets there to get the early item spikes. And it looks like there's the Rift Herald going down. We'll have to see who they use it on. Top lane might be an easy one, it's quite low already. Bot lane haven't really managed to get any damage on their turret, and lane shoving up a lot, but turret's still moderately healthy, so we'll see if they try and use that early, or if they save it for a one fight.
Yeah, we will have to see. It's around, yeah, they've got a 2k golding now, IGNI. It's slowly but surely building for them. But now, they have got Rift Herald, especially as well they're going to use it. Because right now, all 3 lanes have been decently held. I think mid lane is probably going to be the area to look at, but Demo on the Swain right now, he can very easily wave clear, and I feel like the tower won't be as threatened as you would expect. The Suns are looking for a roam, but it does get spotted out, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's a lot of good vision for IGNI on the bot side. A lot of pinks around the dragons to spot anyone going for that one. They did get the Ocean Break, as we spoke about last game, that being very useful early on. They get another, especially when they're playing this style right now, where they're just shoving it. Good vision, getting a nice farm advantage. The Ocean Break obviously helps you do that, makes you take the favorable of kind of helps you win out trades. So I think that IGNI, there's not really that much pressure on them to do anything crazy right now, but I would like to see maybe this game get blown open soon.
Yeah, this game will blow open eventually. It's kind of known with all of the engage that both teams have. It's eventually gonna all culminate in a big fight. The question is, where is it going to be? Is it going to be around the dragon? Is it going to be around the baron? Or is it going to be like a big tower dive in a siege? There's so many opportunities for this game to just blow open for both of these teams to just get a huge lead from it and completely change the tide of this current affair. But like right now, it's hard for both teams to force anything because you have IGNI, who, whilst having a lead, needs to make sure they keep it. And they know that if a one fight goes botched, it can be looking very bad for them.
Very aggressive there. Just kind of getting up inside Morgana minding, and looks like they were trying to clear the Dragon Vision out on the side of Venoshock. They went into and got the pink ward at least. But IGNI have recovered, or retaliated, I should say, picked up the crab, and looks like they might be starting off here with Suicadaray. A lot of 80 damage here. Bot lane is rotated over. This should be conclusive there. Red team are back to it completely. That's going to be a second Ocean Break for IGNI, further securing this lane push style going into there. So it's going to be very tough for Venoshock to find an opening to start a fight here, I believe.
Yeah, it isn't. Honestly, IGNI they're just playing macro game right now. They recognize that no one's around bot side. They're just going to take that for pretty much free, and it's just smart. They get the
interesting visual bugs there. This kind of the psychic Rift Herald headbutt didn't even need to touch the tower to knock that one down, but they are going to shove this up to the second tower. They spot the on the side. We'll see if they can kill him. Failed to jump over the wall, I believe, there from That's not a good one for Alex. Here comes the Alistair, and trying to get away. A lot of low health bars, and not really enough damage yet. Here comes the Jin ult. They are going to finish off Ornn, I believe. One more shot will take him down. Rift Herald has died in this melee, and the Swain kind of looking to try and get some damage on the ult. Very tanky, still got a lot of damage to offer, but the binding stymies him out. Jin stepping up very aggressively for extra damage, and now it's kind of slow down. Oh no, it hasn't. Here comes the Swain knockup and the binding. Excellent catch there by IGNI, securing 2 more kills. That was looking like could have been okay, not that much loss, just egotistical early on, but then that just really turned it now. They are going to get this second, despite losing the Rift Herald. Very nice play from IGNI there.
Yeah, and it's teleportation. The spectator, but they've been alright today.
Yeah.
But IGNI they've just played incredibly well. That fight, they just waited for the right moment to engage, and they did it. They were able to not only engage well, but they also deflected the engage that Sailor tried to pull them. Smart play by them, and they get, I believe, they got 4 towers off that play eventually because Resident Steve was just sat there pushing mid the whole time.
Yeah, we were looking for that fight to blow it open, and that one didn't seem like it was going to be that impactful early on. Just as you said, kind of a macro decision using the Rift Herald to get a timely bot lane tower. But then when they committed to that shove and they got the second one and the big fights as well, and now the gold lead is 6,000 or 7,000 already just after that. Say 4 towers, 3 kills. It's really going to make his favor now.
Yeah, and like I said before, it's smart macro play. No one's really been out of position bar Cream Soda in that first gank. And they just played it incredibly well. It's hard to fault even how they play right now, which is a case of can they start making the big plays to close it out. Baron buff is going to be up in less than a minute, so this is where Vision is going to be starting to pop up around that kind of area. And it means that they can now force Venoshock to engage on them. This is the kind of pivotal area where they know, okay, if we give a Baron buff, we're going to be at an incredible disadvantage. We need to fight them. And it's a great way to try and make something like that bot lane play that happened to try and force engage again.
Yeah, it's we need to see Venoshock take the fight taking, I think, at some point, and use the tools they have to get an aggressive pick, because that's what IGNI are doing, and they're doing it very well. Venoshock have the tools, we just can't see them doing it. And this might be IGNI looking for another very nice pink. They're setting up a Death Brush. Alistair maybe smells a problem there. He's not quite sure. He doesn't want to go in. And I think that this is maybe they'll step out very close. They probably spot the Alistair there, so they know it's coming. Alistair, with binding. So much build up, but not quite any actual payoff. And good try by IGNI. But Alistair, also good kind of awareness on him, knowing that you can't just run up and face check his jungle. He knows that IGNI have the advantage here.
Yeah, retired mid, I mean, it's just smart play knowing that, okay, let's be honest, we don't have much vision around here. They just swept it all out. Where are they going to be? And he realized, okay, we probably can't get vision here.
Yeah.
And I think eventually he steps up, but he steps up very calmly. And that's the way to kind of do it.
Oh, kind of going in for the one shot, but actually messes it up and maybe overshoots. Could he still get it? He does with the heal from the Q and gonna trade. Unbelievable managing to get that trade from Kha'Zix. He's got so much damage. Commits hard to that and they can't quite finish it off. Or not looking to try and hit the Lissandra, the flash, well, no flash by the EOA, sorry. But Alistair flashes on to force this fight to happen. The ult is still available, the flash is still available. Here comes the ultimate, the hook shot onto the Walking Egotistical. They might be actually in trouble here. Breast Super flashes away, but one more Q in a bit could take these people out, and I think they need to let him get away. He might go back in, clearly looking for it. Camille hook shots back in as well, but doesn't go finish off. Jin just keeps her in position there, just for the Lissandra to finish off. Swain can't land the W to slow her down, and that was very tight, very calmly played by the Lissandra, using her abilities and knowing when she can do the damage and when she can't. Still an engage here, the Scion has to ult away the Kai'Sa. Oh, stopped by the Swain there, used body block. Trying to get the Never move, flashed away with the Mastery spam from Cream Soda. Probably a little unnecessary, but got the job done, saved his life, and so much damage was done on that bottom tower during this whole fight.
Yeah, it's once again, it's smart play from IGNI. Now they're going for the Baron. They know that Egotistical is landing not going to be up in time to steal it. They're just going to try and rush it down as fast as they can. And they know they're 5v4. They will win the fight if that happens right now because Egotistical, he still isn't there. So it's either they force the fight and have to fight them 4v5, or they concede the Baron. So they're going to try and force the fight.
Here comes the Jin ult, but Alistair from the side, very... finding landing up, and they're just working through the team one by one here, all focusing their targets down. Jin looks for the W, can't quite get it. Lissandra looking to chase down that Kai'Sa. No summoners available, no ult quite available. It's almost up. If she can get it, she might be able to get away, but no, she's just going to go down to Lissandra. And now IGNI are going to shove the lanes into the space with the man advantage here.
Yeah, it's IGNI are putting on a macro masterclass right now. They get a small advantage and then just grow and grow and grow. And that's exactly what an advantage can become if you just play the game smartly, and that's exactly what they've done.
Cream Soda actually going down to the tower there, but this is just for the damage. Definitely calm. That's
yeah, 100%.
And they are going to get this in here and back away as well. So no Baron secured. Ornn is TPing in. Venoshock don't want to let them get away with this. The Kai'Sa is still dead. This seems like a pretty risky maneuver. I think it just goes straight down. Ornn ult doesn't even hit anybody, and now the Lissandra goes into doubles. Kha'Zix's back in to finish off Swain, and here comes Kai'Sa a bit late to the party here, my dude. Alice is already down, and now it's all just going to end. This is probably going to be the game if they can get this wave into the tower. That's an ace from that incredibly intriguingly forced fight from Venoshock.
Quadra kill for Suikaidere on the Kha'Zix there. They're going to wrap this one up incredibly quickly. That's only a 23-minute game that we just watched. And like I said, macro masterclass. They play those fights incredibly. They know exactly where to be in the right time. They take tower after tower after tower after objective. And it was just really, really good play. IGNI didn't even need to technically individually outclass the players mechanically because they just play the map so well. And
yeah,
they get the win because of it.
It's so like you said, so quickly done. We were anticipating this match. IGNI just really managed to find those openings and use their damage and their skills so well and get so much off every advantage that Venoshock just never had a chance to scale up. And we saw them forcing at least once a couple of interesting fights, and they may be kind of a bit worried, and I thought we have this ult, we need to use it, we got to get them off our base, and then it ended up just falling flat as IGNI were able to kite around it or just outplay it in general.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to ask you, who is your player of the game?
That's actually a pretty tough one. I mean, it's probably on the surface of it going to be Suikaidere on that Kha'Zix, right? But I mean, I can't help but feel like a lot of early on, he was playing very well at not dying and then turning the kill around. And when his team was very good at rotating to come in and save him, that kind of allowed him to get this really strong scoreline. And when he came in to kill that Kai'Sa, kind of knowing his damage and managing to make a clutch play there. So I think it's probably got to be him just because he's had such a strong performance in this game, and he was the one making the super flashy plays, whereas the rest of his team was very much just kind of going by the book, very well executed, very smoothly done, and he was the one being the kind of the primer, the trigger for these like big fights and advantages they were getting.
Yeah, it was just smart play for the whole of IGNI at Suikaidere. A little bit of an edge in those mechanics. He was the one who was really making the plays.
Yeah.
But that's going to be it from us for Equinox Week 2. Join back next week if the stream games stay the same. We have Aquamarine Gaming versus SRG Kaylee. We have IGNI versus SRG Lyra, and we have Kex versus Team Abandoned. So if you guys want to watch those matches, tune in next week and we'll have them on. From me, CJ, and the rest of the casting team, the rest of the stream team, and of course the admins themselves, we wish you guys a very good week, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for watching, guys.